Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, presented by MSI, and I am your host, Jan Ochoa. Welcome to Giant Bombcast, episode 907. We've got so many people on this podcast today. It's like we're a K-pop girl group with how many people are on today. We've got the vocals of the group. Jeff Grubb.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, my kids are getting into BTS because they're coming. The boys from BTS are inside McDonald's Happy Meals.
Speaking about being inside Happy Meals, he's inside all of the meals, and he can't contain his excitement over them because he's the playful one of the group. Dan Reichert.
No, the McDonald's Happy Meals are inside of me. They did the adult Happy Meal thing, right, recently?
Oh, yeah.
I thought about doing that. It's just got a fucked up looking shake. I don't want to shake with every meal, you know?
I don't know if you have to get the shake. We definitely did it. Maybe we did get the shake. Dan, I got it once. I don't know. You don't have to get it every time.
Okay. I like the idea of getting back into Happy Meals, but they need to make it for cool adults like me.
Exactly.
He's the moody one of the group. You can find him sitting in the back of the class, scrawling his name into desks. You can't borrow a pencil from him because he's dressed in all black. The Scary Spice equivalent of our group, Jeff Bakalar.
Hey, what's up? How's it going, Jan?
Did you like that one this time?
Did you get the birthday card I sent you?
You're a month early, dog. But I'll take it.
Your artistic abilities, though, Bakalar.
I made a cool drawing.
I'm going to borrow that drawing later.
Fantastic. And he's the archetype that he fills in our group. Not only is he the smart one, but he's also the young one. Turbo Sean McDowell.
Happy birthday to the thing that all young people love, the Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah, that's right.
And the Sony PlayStation.
Yeah, and PlayStation in the United States.
PlayStation can go hell.
Oh, they're both great. I love both my kids.
Speaking about kids, we were just kids back then, but he continued to be the bad boy, and he's the bad man of games media. That's right. He's coming to the ring with bleached hair, leather jackets. His family's gonna take over games media soon because he is the bloodline. Mike Menotti.
I was just at the dentist and I didn't get a lollipop.
What?
So we've partnered up with MSI to our dear friends that have been presenting and sponsoring us for the past month or so here on Giant Bombcast and on Game S Mornings. Hey, not only did y'all impress them by going over to them during PAX West and saying like, yo, I roll with the gang. Holler, throw me in, get me some Mobos, get me some Jippus. I hope you didn't actually approach them like that. They seem like very nice people, but we partnered with them again to do a Mobo giveaway. Let me hear some Mobos from the boys here.
Mobo!
I'm afraid of screwdrivers too.
Is it Dan proof?
That's right. Secure boots on the ground. Award-winning ads here on the Giant Bombcast. You can enter for a chance to win 3 different Mobos. One of 3, just a Mobo of either the MAG Z890 Tomahawk Wi-Fi, the MPG Z890 Carbon Wi-Fi, the MPG Z890 Edge TI Wi-Fi. And how you enter, gang? This is how you enter. Jeff Grubb, you got this doc in front of you?
Yeah, I got some doc in front of me. Yeah, where are we at?
How to enter?
Yeah, if you want to enter, you're going to need to post a pic of your current rig in the MSI Discord. You can join that. Go to discord.gg/MSI. They have a channel there called #podcast-channel. Go in there, post your rig, and tell us why you need a new motherboard. Include a handwritten note with Discord name plus today's date for verification. You want to include that actually in the image itself. So go join discord.gg/MSI.
Yes, and the winners will be selected in the Discord channel and announced on October 10th, the day before my birthday. So that's also a fun reminder then. You can get 10% off any regular priced Intel Z890, B860 boards on the MSI US store with the code BOMBCAST. That's BOMBCAST. Apparently, I'm very bad at spelling, but I haven't bothered to edit the ad. But it's fine. You get it. We get it. Valid until October 15th, gang. What's going on? How's the haps?
It's happening, baby.
Me and Mike both cried on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh.
We cried together.
Tiki drinks were good?
Out of your eyeballs,
yeah,
right?
they cried. Those tiki drinks were so good. I cried for sure.
What do you mean you cried?
We went to go see Joe Hisaishi, the composer for Studio Ghibli, and it was like his whole thing is like, I'm going to play some of my original compositions, and that's all that was promised, and they were beautiful. It was really nice.
It was moving.
It was moving, yes. But, he kind of gets Halfway through, we take a little break. We come back. He starts playing some more familiar stuff. But he did not The Wind Rises, but he
It
did
was
the
Boy and the Heron.
Boy and the Heron.
The latest Ghibli movie he composed. Yeah.
Oh, I get that. I mean, look, emotional events happened. I get it. That's
and then it was over. But it wasn't over. You guys ever see this? A musician's
encore?
like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm not done yet. I'm going to
Yeah.
come back and play more music.
I didn't think it was going to be an encore situation. It was like a fancy, orchestra thing.
Right. I do wonder, like, what the etiquette is like for that, for like orchestras, like how many encores is like okay if you're a guest conductor, but whatever. He came back and he played Carousel from, was that Howl's Moving Castle? And
oh wow.
Okay.
and then he played like the piano suite from Spirited Away.
One
and both
summer
of those like
day.
wrecked me. Just absolutely, it was like amazing. We're like
Oh, yeah.
less than 50 feet away from the guy, and he's just up there playing the piano himself on a big old Steinway. It was really amazing.
Oh, it was cool.
And that
stuff.
was the moment.
Oh yeah, both those songs really got me.
Yeah, because I really was like, yeah, it's great. I'm going to see him. Would I have liked it if he did Howl's Moving Castle and Spirit Away? Sure, but he's not, and I'm a big boy, and that's okay. Then as soon as he started doing those songs, yeah, I lost it.
So
Absolutely.
did you guys? I'm assuming you sat next to each other.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
we put a dude bro space between us.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
But when you
Just
both,
kidding. No.
what was the point where you both realized you were crying and
Well,
did
that's
you
like
like,
right away.
did you
Yeah.
make eye contact and you
Instantaneously.
were sort of like, I'm glad you're here, man.
I definitely gasped a little, like, oh,
Yeah.
God, yeah.
I think I had to do
Yeah.
the whole like glasses off thing.
Yeah.
Like, I was
Sure.
I'm relatively animated, believe it or not. So
It was a good night, though. It was a lot of
Yeah.
fun. I would
Were you
recommend
drunk?
it.
Is that what do you think you cried a little
yes.
bit because you're
Yes.
drunk?
Yes, definitely.
yeah.
Well, I feel like I know you were drunk, but I'm also asking, do you
Yeah,
think the alcohol increased your, sort of like crying ability?
Does it do that?
Yeah, it's a depressant.
A little bit. We live in an interesting space, specifically the six of us and our extended family, because instead of drunk texting or drunk calling someone, Jeff Grubb decided to just drunk chat.
I did not realize how lit I was until I tried to write that sentence in chat, and it wasn't working. I was like, oh, no.
Just like, we're going fish and chips. Where are you guys?
The fish and chips were so good.
Yeah. Shout outs to Great Lakes
Yeah, I
Brewing
got my-
Company.
That's
yeah.
right.
I
Shouts
also
out.
took Jeff Grubb to the West Side Market at Cleveland Staple for the first time. Just this indoor market thing where everybody has their own booth and they're selling meat or
Like
jerky
fresh
or
jerky, yeah.
sweets or bread. It's just, a bunch of little stations in there. It's so fun.
Yeah, I was like so won over. I immediately took the family back there on Sunday and took my mother-in-law as well. It was great. It was good times.
Hell,
Yeah,
yes.
sometimes I don't know. I cry at concerts a lot too.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Horrible.
Just because you
And
sit on your
drunk, probably.
balls, though.
No, no, I don't know why. Like I get like overcome with emotion sometimes.
Yeah,
And,
it's
you know?
okay to cry. Ooh,
Yeah, no, crying's fun.
I'm like of two minds. I'm like, one of me is like, this is so emotional, and the other one's, that Jerry Seinfeld line, I don't want to go watch a man sing a song. I'm like
All right,
both of
Dan
those things at the
Reichert.
same time. Yeah, definitely. It's like I could just listen to this at home, but then I get there and it's very moving. A lot
Yeah,
of the
seeing
time.
it live is something special. It's funny, like encores now. I feel like there's certain bands who like really milk the encore thing, and then there's certain
Yeah.
bands who are just like, we're all adults here. We're just gonna
Yeah.
play more songs and not leave and come back.
I
you know?
like that because or the ones just being like, listen, there's not going to be an encore. This is our last song. Like, I like just doing that so you don't do the thing where it's like, oh, are we going to wait or we're going to go?
I
you
agree.
know?
Yeah, but I get the like people. It's the one last thing, right? People are really attached to that shit. I'm
So you
with you
announce
guys.
it. You say, like, this is the one last thing. We're going to play
yeah.
this
Yeah.
hit, you know?
Yeah, people probably. Well, as soon as they hear that, they're probably like, "This is fine." Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
still getting probably the same amount of music.
I gotta be honest. There's no way I could resist being like an encore asshole. Right? Like, ooh, I guess I'm
you want me
gone.
back?
Oh, are you cheering more for me? Well, ooh, do I
Yeah.
know one more song? Hmm.
I think you'd get sick of it eventually. I think that's where a lot of band
No,
either a band can't like get creative with it anymore, and they're just like, we don't need to do this. Or if but I've seen bands do it really creatively. Like there's not a lot of space to move there.
So for our premium folks out there, we're actually starting to do our own encore on the dump truck.
Oh, yeah.
right,
we are.
yeah.
We go away. It's like, oh, no, we're back. We got one more dump. Let's go.
It only happens if you cheer at the end of the podcast, though. You have to
Right.
really cheer.
Right. Stand
in,
up.
in the chat, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Tinkerbell. Yeah.
One more dump. One more.
Everyone else have a rousing weekend filled with. It's okay if everyone else cried. I think I might have cried also, so it's fine.
Oh, not from a concert, but of course, Jan,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I saw wrestling at the Mall of America, and Hornswoggle was there, and he went around, and I'm friends with the refs there. Shout out to referee Clark, and talked to him afterwards, and definitely wasn't given the heads up that Hornswoggle was just going to run around hitting all the referees in the nuts. So that was a fun time.
Wow. Wrestling.
What a scamp, yeah.
What a follow-up to the last subject.
Yeah. We had very different weekends,
Studio
Dan.
Ghibli, I'm watching a leprechaun punch guys in the nuts.
You still saw men cry this weekend, Dan. I
Yeah.
guarantee that.
Yeah. Dan cried. He thought this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
He's a poet.
I went to a Korean barbecue joint with some homies over the weekend.
You cried there?
No, I didn't cry there. I cried afterwards. And it wasn't one of those gas joints. It was like a charcoal joint. So they had charcoal in front of, in the middle of the table.
Oh, wow.
Which, if people are kind of getting a little schwasty at Korean barbecue, that feels like a gigantic health hazard for someone just fucking falling in to charcoal.
Yeah, but what a way to go.
That's how they
What a way
got
to
Cotton Hill, I think, right? Yeah,
How
gotta
do
be
they
careful.
mitigate the smoke?
Well, that's the next part of my story, Jeff. There are these giant vents on top, which I assumed was supposed to act like a ventilation or chimney or whatever.
Yeah, they have
Scout,
to.
it's okay. And the Korean barbecue place had to open a door because a window because it was getting a little too smoky in there. Ventilation wasn't too great. I was sitting in front of the window and the door area, so all of the smoke from my group's Korean barbecue was just all over me.
Damn.
And so was the two other tables near us. So all their smoke was headed towards me in one general area. So I felt like I was a Mortal Kombat character. I went to a dispensary afterwards, and then like the lady that checked me out was freaking out, like, "Oh my God, is there a fire in here? Like it smells like smoke. Oh my
You
God.
smell like
Someone put
fire."
something on." And then I look at her and was like, "Hey, sorry, I did this backwards. Normally you get the weed first and then Korean barbecue, but I'm doing it differently today." And then I had an existential crisis during karaoke, but that's besides the point.
I mean, it is the best
As you
place to
do.
have one of those. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I also watched Naked Gun. That movie.
Yeah.
Can I say
Yeah, it
that
was
that
good.
movie is pretty good? Boy, that's a funny movie.
It's extremely funny. Yes.
Yeah, just really got me the entire time. It was one of those ones I'm like, I'm going to put this on. And then Steph kind of was like, saying, she's like, oh, I want to watch this too. And mother-in-law was here and we all kind of watched it. And everyone really loved it. Even the kids kind of peeked in sometimes and were picking up on some of the jokes, which I remember doing with the original Naked Gun movies. I was like pretty much a kid when those were coming out. And, that was the 90s. So I think those were mostly like rated R in a lot of cases. This is PG-13. And I kind of like appreciated that and was impressed they were able to pull off so many of the jokes.
It's not too dirty.
I think
It's
they were
more like
PG-13 back in the day.
They were?
I think so.
I just for some reason I remember nudity, but maybe that's.
I mean, they
Maybe
did
only
the
the
condom
third
thing where he was like in the
Yes,
full body
this
condom and
thing
all
for
that.
sure.
Yeah.
God, that's a good joke.
There's
though.
not
I
a
definitely-
ton of sex stuff. Well, the snowman scene, but
the snowman scene, that like as soon as that started, as soon as I saw the snowman's head, I'm like, I hope they. And then the next thing was like, I can't believe they're doing this. But it was like, I'm like, that would be the funniest thing if they did this, and it like just hit so hard.
that was the analog to the MacGruber sex scene for me,
Yes.
where it's like I'm loving this entire movie, and this is the part where I am crying. So maybe that movie did make me cry.
There you go.
Yeah, they were PG-13.
Man,
All of
okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
As a kid, it was just like this seems pretty,
Yeah.
riveting.
Well, they came out
Yeah.
when we were like, I guess it's interesting. Yeah, they're like 9 and 10.
9 and
So
10,
you're
yeah.
sort of like at that age. You're sort of like anything slightly off color is like the
Right.
most
These are
taboo
these are
thing you've
jokes
ever seen.
for adults. Like
Yeah.
I knew that, and a lot of them definitely were sex tinged, but I guess they just weren't explicit.
There is more like kind of pants shitting type stuff going on in that movie than sex stuff, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I could see a kid like me at 10, I probably would have made it my entire personality is that movie if I saw it. Yeah.
Now you would have really respected cops a lot.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm glad you saw it.
The windshield joke too. Jesus Christ!
Oh my
There's
God. It's
every
so
bit in that
good.
movie. Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid.
I'm now just.
When you
I'm
see it,
just
it's like, oh, they're going to do this. Yep, they did it. All right.
Wasn't it directed by one of the Lonely
Akiva
Island guys?
Schaffer.
Yeah, Kiva
Yeah.
Schaffer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
he
Yep,
the
yep.
one that broke his hip from falling from a ladder recently?
I don't know.
No, that might have been Jorma.
Oh, I think that was Jorma. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he did.
I love that his previous film was Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah,
which was
I mean, he
very
also did
good.
MacGruber.
That's
Like,
a-
yeah.
that's a
No,
banger of a movie.
Jorma did MacGruber.
Oh, Jorma. Okay.
Yeah. So, but the Lonely Island legacy and recent, recent.
That,
15
he
years
would have been
ago, but
involved with that, like as a producer, probably then, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think maybe Sandberg was the only one that wasn't involved with MacGruber. Seth Meyers was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Lonely Island crew, just give them any movie, really.
Did they do?
Yeah.
Did Akiva do Popstar? Because Popstar
Yeah.
is also fantastic.
One of them did. Yeah.
He co-directed it with Jorma, apparently.
Okay, yeah, that makes
And he
sense.
solo directed Hot Rod.
I need to rewatch Popstar. It did not hit me the
Oh.
way that it hits everyone else, and I bet now that I've seen it once, it'll
Okay,
work.
this is why I asked a couple weeks ago: was Bin Laden just a shoot bad dude all around? Because
The Bin Laden song is fantastic.
Okay.
the
Yes.
Bin Laden song is such a banger of a song.
Like
I
Bin
think-
Laden. Yeah.
The
I think we
live
would've-
performance with the beards.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I think we would have healed as a society and been on a different track if we had more celebratory songs that we killed Bin Laden.
But
Yeah.
also, the song's also about sex. So
Yeah.
You know, like maybe Diddy wouldn't have so many freak offs if he just
he needs the
celebrated.
freak offs, right? 'Cause he's not celebrating enough. Right?
I don't think there's
maybe-
anything in the world stopping from
maybe-
that happening.
Maybe Kanye would have been fine now if he just
buddy.
celebrated. No,
I don't know, pal.
okay, hold on. I can find another non-problematic music star. R. Kelly would have been no.
There
Okay,
you go. Nope, nailed in one, Jan.
a lot of this
O.J.
behavior might
Simpson.
predate these things.
didn't make music, but
You're
no,
right.
Okay,
You're right.
There's I got nothing there. I
All
got
that
nothing
also happened before 9/11.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, anyway, this podcast celebrates that we killed Bin Laden. And I'm comfortable saying that.
It's the week for it.
Cheers to that. Oh yeah, it is. Holy shit! Wow. Talk about timing. Wow.
Well,
that's-
we are not going to let 9/11 overshadow Dreamcast Day here, okay?
Never again is what we say to that.
Oh God. We're the handsomest podcast on the internet. Folks, what do you say we talk? Anyone else have anything else they want to get off their chest?
I don't know if we're the handsomest podcast on the internet because I don't know if you saw Hanson's Rapid Fire with Nate Fox from Sucker Punch when you talked about putting me in the game but didn't put Ben Reeves in because Ben Reeves was too handsome because they scanned both of us. He said, oh, we couldn't put Ben Reeves in because he was too handsome. He'd be distracting. Put my ass all over that game.
Wow. I did not know that there was such a backhanded compliment out there.
I got beat
Backhanded
with Sucker
insult, I should
Punch
say.
now.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
you?
really
Well,
good. Yeah,
we
you got
can-
sucker punched. Yeah.
We can put you in our video game because you're not handsome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got real NPC energy. Like, yeah.
I am like the most
Wow.
common NPC in Infamous second. No, specifically that first Neon whatever one. I'm
Yeah.
all over that. There is a fucking scene. There's a side mission in that game where it's like a sex trafficker and you have to like follow cameras and stuff to watch them like go from spot to spot in the city. And it's fucking me in a pink Adidas tracksuit walking around. It's like, why am I? God damn it.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they should have given you a heads up if they were going to cast you as a sex
Like you,
trafficker.
like you just do generic commercial reads and suddenly you find out you're like in a herpes commercial like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd be fine. I still got
Yeah.
the bag,
I
you
could
know.
live that life.
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
Folks, before we talk about video games, I'd be remiss, and Chuck would be a little bit upset if I didn't mention that the premium site beta, we're keeping it open for all the premium users out there, enormousexplosive.com. If you have any problem linking your OG account to the account over there, holler. We'll try and get you all set up. But the wiki needs your help. Programmers, editors, testers, join. What?
What's happening?
Join the Wiki Street team in our the Giant Bomb Discord. That's discord.gg/giantbomb, or go to bombcast.com/wiki for the code repo. You can learn about all sorts of things with code and RSS feeds and other number thingies. Chuck showed Sean and I a YouTube string, and then he pulled a thumbnail out of it. I'm like, how did you do that? I'm not going to question it. I'm going to politely smile and nod my head. Anyways, video games. We'll get this out of the way now. Gang, last UPF, we had a rousing time. We played Cronos, and we finished off the day by with these two experts, Dan Reichert and Jeff Bakalar, with a little assist from Dib, teaching me how to play Sudoku. I was ignorant because I thought Sudoku involved math, and I don't like math. In fact, it's just patterns, numbers, and tiles. And
Logic.
I love tiles. It's logic. And since that day, I have been doing nothing but play Sudoku on my phone. I bought a book.
Oh my God, yes.
And then I started looking up strategies. I found the crosshatch strategy, the
Nice.
X-wing, the Y-wing. And then I kind of got lost in the sauce, and I was just staring at the page, and I was getting the numbers right, and I didn't quite know how I was doing it, but I just went with it.
Oh, you saw the
and I
Matrix.
felt
Yeah,
great.
you saw the Matrix. That's right, Grub. Yep.
I saw the Matrix.
There's
and
some of the names for the strats are a little problematic. Like
Sudoku?
Yeah,
like
why is one called The South Will Rise Again? That's
yeah, like one's called like Naked Single
okay.
and like weird naked pairs. It's okay. Sudoku's an old game. It was different back then.
How did you guys originally learn to play Sudoku? I guess I'm talking
Brain
to
age.
Dan. And
Brain age.
Me too.
Yeah, that's where I
Brain
first started playing it for sure.
Age. Brain
I thought
age,
that's
yeah.
when it was invented, but apparently it's been around long.
Brain age.
Yeah,
I had to have one of
Satoru
those.
Iwata.
Remember those crappy little PDAs you could buy for like $10 at Circuit
Hell
City?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Only game on that bad boy.
Hell yeah.
The Brain Age one was great because it had that handwriting recognition.
Yeah, and it worked.
You know, I don't
You just
remember
turn
if
it
you could pencil
sideways?
mark in it. Could
You
you,
could
pencil mark in
You
it?
could
You
pencil
could.
mark, yep.
Yeah, if you did like tiny numbers and stuff, I think it would just put it right there.
And you could
and
like put it
recognize
in
it.
like different corners depending on if you have different
Right.
reasons, different logical reasons for that. Yeah.
But yes, I fell all the way in, and I was at a bookstore and I was looking at a Sudoku book, and I was just staring at it. I'm like, these patterns fucking suck. These boards suck. I threw the book away, and then I found a better one. Also, it's so bad, guys. I feel like my depression is cured temporarily when I play this game.
Well, that's
It's
what it
probably
was
good for your
originally
brain.
invented for. Yeah, it was a therapeutic.
Turns
but
out.
what's amazing about Sudoku is that there are like each puzzle kind of has like an attitude, right? Like it has like a sort of personality where you're like, oh, you're doing this fucking thing. You're doing this fucking thing where like you're making all the sixes showing up in this way. Like I think that's what's really amazing about it. I guess the same thing could be said for like crosswords, right?
Yeah,
Where,
yeah.
like
Like
they
the
have
editor,
a theme,
there's
kind of
an
like
editorial voice to
100%.
different kinds of puzzles. Yeah.
the people like the non-computer set Sudokus are like can be very, very interesting.
Are you guys familiar with like the current trend of ragging on performative males?
I don't know what
No.
that means.
Okay,
What?
so like a performative male is like a dude that will show up to a coffee shop or a park. He'll have
Sure.
a tote bag, a matcha latte, and a book that he's not actually reading.
Sure.
Oh, we don't have those in Ohio.
Yeah.
I still
They
don't get
migrated
what you're
to LA.
describing, Jan.
Just someone who's putting on like the guy at the coffee shop that is working on his spec script and like has been doing that for years.
Jan, question from someone who used to live in San Francisco. There was a guy that rode my route a lot on the Muni, and he would stand up and he would read Atlas Shrugged, and he would constantly just like,
Stop it. No way.
Oh my god.
No way. Come on.
I think I
character?
have a picture of him. I saw this fucker so much.
What? Can you? That's a good. Is that a good example, Jen? Can you give me
Yeah,
another
yes.
one?
Think, just think me if I was more of an asshole.
Yeah, and less self-aware. Yeah.
More
Less
of an
self-aware.
asshole. But what does that mean?
Now hang on, Jan. I had to search this because this is one of those instances where you make me feel like one of the olds of the group. Apparently, this is someone who pretends to be into feminism to romantically attract
sure.
That's definitely
women.
one of
Oh
them.
yeah.
Oh,
sure.
so like a fake
Yeah,
woke person,
a soft boy, right? Like,
sleepy
oh,
person,
you could
yeah.
trust me. I'm a soft boy, and then
Yeah.
like a
secretly,
woke
yeah,
larper,
having sex with half
Yeah.
the
Met
industry.
some of those in this industry.
a woke
Woke
larper,
larper. All right, we have our episode title.
woke dash larper.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Got it. All right, we can have dashes in the RSS feed. But I had a Sudoku book, and I was staring at it while I was waiting for my coffee, and then these two people were staring at me, and I was staring at them, and like they were also two dudes with like a tote bag and their own little book, and like the other guy had a journal, and I think we just kind of did like the Spider-Man meme for a second of like, wait a minute, are you for real, or are you not for real? Because my dumb butt forgot to have a pen with me, so I was just staring at a Sudoku book trying to do the solutions in my head. Anyway, video games, actual shoot video games. Something else we played on UPF that I was a little bit on the fence about, and Jeff Baclar eventually cleared that fence, thankfully, through the guidance of our friend Christian from Argentina. Cronos, the New Dawn. Baclar, have you spent more time with this? Has the fence bug traumatized you in such a way?
Yeah, it has. I mean, I've spent about like 8-9 hours on this game. I guess 90 minutes of that was sort of like redoing that whole section where we couldn't get by what was some sort of, I don't know, it was some sort of glitch, some sort of locking glitch where there was this asset that manifested, spawned in my save, and I could not leave an area. If you watch UPF, it was like, yeah, it was funny, but it was frustrating for sure. That moment is not indicative of the entire sort of game. I think this game is fine. There are moments where I really enjoy it. It is a third-person shooter, survival horror game that like really kind of wishes it was Resident Evil in a lot of ways, which is a good thing to want to be. What's that?
It also feels like it's trying to go. You said this during UPF, but it's trying to like incorporate elements of Dead Space.
It is the most Dead Space out of any other game, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, right down to the stomping, right? Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Is it... No, sorry. Is it pulling off, like, that same scary tone where it's, like, building the tension in a way where you are... Well, from that section in UPF, you were kind of precious about your supplies and everything, but, like, I feel like Dead Space constantly builds on that tension on top of, like, even if you don't have the supplies. Does Cronos also maintain that spookiness?
Yeah, well, so yes, it maintains the spookiness. Dead Space is better at sort of choreographing the things you want out of that, where this game, I think, to a fault, sort of like reminds you it's a video game because you are handcuffed by certain, mechanics, right? So like, I don't want the sort of immersion to be broken when I'm like, spinning plates of inventory and trying to like make things work. And there's like certain quality of life things that just are not in this game that I'm kind of surprised by. Like, you can't quick turnaround. You can't, if you don't have an inventory slot left and there's like bullets staring you in the face, you can't pick them up. And I just don't get it. I can't live in a world where like this is how a game refuses to work. I maybe it's petty, maybe I'm just being a petulant shithead, but like, come on, fix that. Allow me to put the bullets in my gun. I don't want to have to like, and it's not like you can just drop something else and then pick it back up. You have to delete it, right? You have to like just like burn whatever the inventory occupier is. So that's stupid. Don't do that. Do better. Yeah, but I mean, like, overall, like, I think that I said this in UPF. The best part of this game is the world building, is the mystery, is the sort of like.
I was going to ask, like, the sounds like there are plenty of things to complain about, but like, for like the Bacalar scale of like coming into one of these games and wanting to like hit your buttons or whatever, how is it doing on that front? Is it delivering on the spookiness and the lore or whatever, the world building?
I think that's a good question. I think in those departments, it's ticking those boxes. It's scary enough, like the scare flavor it is like goopy, and I don't always love the goopy.
Sure.
It's fleshy and like bulbous, fleshy, goopy.
Not like Scorn, right? Not like
no,
body horror
no.
in a way.
I mean, there's definitely body horror in this game,
okay.
like, without a doubt. Like, you guys didn't. You didn't really see a lot of the baddies in this, but they are all like horrific freaks. Biological terror. It is not
where does
great.
It land on like the Geiger counter? Is it like very HR Geiger or whatever? Or like, is it like...
yeah, it's. I mean, it's the you've got like, and they can merge. The enemies can merge with each other. So like, if one of them is like an acid spitter and the other one is like an 8-armed teeth freak, like they'll fuck in real time and merge, and then you're fighting the combination of that, which is interesting, but also it's just a lot. It's just. That I know.
Is it kind of like the modern Resident Evils with the molded and how there's sort of like amorphic freaks wandering
a little
about?
bit. I think that's a good way to look at it.
I mean, some of those
but just more flesh colored. Yeah,
they looked really like the things in the basement in Village. Remember when you go down to the
that
like,
was
morgue
a boss.
area?
Like
that
the
was
baby.
a unique one-off kind of boss
That
who
looked
had
very
like the
much like
licorice
that.
wrapped around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, I think I'm enjoying my time with it for the most part, save for the sort of mind-numbingly, shortcoming with the quality of life stuff. That stuff I just kind of can't stand for. So I feel like it is like a 6-7 kind of thing, and for me, that is what this game is. I'm gonna see it through. I'm gonna finish it because, like I said, the story is intriguing enough, and this game scares me. Like this game, there are moments where I'm just like, "What are you doing?" I've also run into spots where like I can't kill this boss because I'm out of ammo. I'm locked in an area and I'm just running around. I'm not gonna melee it to death. You have to use fire to really sort of accelerate killing a lot of these enemies, and if you run out of all that and you have no ammo, you're sort of just handcuffed, and that sucks. I don't ever want there to be a situation where I'm just burned like that. But I land on the better side of the average scale.
Sounds like 16 hours. How far into it are you?
I'm like 8 or 9.
Okay, all right, halfway done. Okay,
yeah.
How big of a development team is Bloober? Like, how much Silent
no
Hill
idea.
2 remake team? How much of that team worked on Cronos? I'm curious.
I mean, I'm sure they like all.
Decent by now.
Yeah, I'm sure they all zipped over to help on that once Silent Hill was out. But yeah,
Wikipedia says 250 as of
I was
last
going to
year.
guess 150. Yeah, I guess 250 is what you would need for 2 of these games. Kind of come out pretty close together when it.
That's from their about page. So yeah, over 250 employees.
I really wonder, like, if they're, I guess it all depends on how this game does. I think this is a game that's like a good start and maybe a really solid sequel is in the future, but I don't know if that's the ambition, if that's where this studio is going to go.
I'll be interested to see how the Switch 2 version does.
Yeah.
It's like maybe that one hits because it's, a spooky game on the Switch 2, maybe has a chance of breaking out, but Hollow Knight kind of eating up all the oxygen right now.
And I will say, I'm playing this on PC, and performance-wise, it like has not been the best.
Yeah.
I am using the frame generation DLSS as well, and like, I'm trying it in 4K on our 480s here or 490s, whatever we have. And yeah, it's hitching up a little bit.
Really? 4090? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. Maybe I have a fried CPU.
Yeah, we do.
And which is definitely a possibility.
Yes.
But yeah, like I said, the cinematic kind of moments, again, there's not a lot of characters that you can kind of like identify with here, but the cinematic stuff is really interesting, and you're sort of just like, because I said in UPF, it's kind of like this 12 Monkeys thing where like they're sending people to the past to kind of figure out what the hell happened, and some of that stuff is really interesting, and they don't flirt too much with like, oh, you're screwing around with time travel and you're violating all these things, and it's just annoying because you're just kind of like making the narrative work to tell the story. Like, I haven't run into any of that where I'm sort of rolling my eyes. But yeah, it's cool. I think if you're like me, you probably have an easier time slipping into a game like this. I don't know how universally appealing that might be, though.
Awesome.
There you go.
Well, it sounds like you had a hellish time navigating the spooky scaries of it. Just like Mike Minotti has had a hellish time dealing with mods in the hottest, newest game out, Diablo 1.
It made him skip a funeral. It's so hot and new.
Okay, Mike, I need to say this. I can't believe you missed a funeral.
Oh my gosh, you all
No,
are...
I'm with you, Mike. You got it vetted. I'm okay, but with it, buddy.
Yeah.
102. That's a major achievement in life.
Yeah, I went to her birthday party. Actually, I missed that. Because I wasn't invited to that. I'm not invited to the birthday. Oh, no. I was traveling. I was busy working for you schlubs, so I missed her 100th birthday party. How sad.
And to think she only died 2 years later.
I don't feel bad about missing the funeral. Diablo 1. Yeah, so...
MP3.
Well, I love when I asked him if it was like a travel thing. He's like, no, it was very local.
Yes,
It was
He's just
next
staying
door.
at his funerals, Mike Minotti is.
Yeah, your brother showed up to the Discord town hall later, and I thought we were getting like served papers.
He was told not to go. I listened to my dad. My dad said, don't go. I'm like, yes, sir, father, sir, anything you say. I have another 20. All right. Diablo 1 is a game I always wanted to play, but never really did. I loved Diablo 2. When Diablo 1 came out, it was a little early for me. But something about Diablo 1, you know, I know spooky season extending to September is like a little bit of a hot topic, but it's definitely fall vibes, and even more than spooky, I get fall vibes from those Diablo games, especially Diablo 1, because Tristram is kind of surprisingly cozy for a game haunted by the devil. There's that weird guitar music, everything's just kind of dark and, you know, I don't know, chilly in a fun way. I played this because on GOG, you can buy the original game, but you can also just from their storefront get this mod. It just gets added to your library. It's just the executable that you open, and it runs the game with this mod automatically. It's called Beelzebub. Now, I thought it was just an HD mod, but it actually is a lot more than that. There's a lot of UI stuff and quality left stuff that basically kind of makes the game a bit more like Diablo 2 in a lot of ways. Like, you know, when you're buying and selling stuff, that just looks like that now instead of just seeing a list of things that you can get from them. But they also added a lot of stuff, and so a lot of it was cut content. Like, oh, when you fight the Butcher, you know, in the original game, you just open up his little room, and he comes down, he swings at you. And here, you have to open up a scroll of town portal, and then you go into his lair, and there's a little F&B cutscene, and then you fight him. So part of me is like, neat, but I think I kind of wanted to do that the original way. I think it overreaches a bit in what it's changing. Also, apparently, it's kind of a big difficulty upswing in that. I don't know if it's because they're rebalancing things because they added all these extra side missions, they even added player abilities that weren't in the original game and classes and things like that too. So it's been a very difficult experience, actually. Like, I am really struggling. Each time I go to a new floor, it's some giant difficulty curve. So sometimes I've gotten surprisingly frustrated with it, and I'm like, I think I actually just want to go find a mod that is more of a pure HD conversion than this. Maybe I'd like that more. I don't know. But now I'm like 15 hours in, so I'm too deep. I gotta see it through.
Well, okay, wait.
You have to see it through?
Your save would probably transfer, might. Well, God, I don't know with all that content. It might break. You could try.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because I think they even added items that weren't in the original in this one. So I don't know.
Would probably just like zap away, but
so I don't know what
there's a chance it might not work.
But yeah, mostly I think the mod is very. I don't think this is the mod you should play if this is like, I want to finally experience Diablo 1. It almost seems like a mod for Diablo heads. It's like, look, it's like a total conversion.
Did they do a Diablo 1 re-release recently? Am I misremembering
They
that?
never did. They did Diablo 2
They
Remake.
did Diablo 2.
They did an event where they brought in a lot of, like, they kind of remade Diablo 1 in Diablo 3, but that was a limited time
Right.
thing.
There's also Devolution X. Grub, you may have seen that on like retro gaming channels, like Retro Game Core, because they do show that. That's like I think it was a decompilation that they then turned into a PC port. I think if people are looking for a more faithful version of Diablo 1, maybe that would be the one to go to. I don't think there's graphical mods, but I think the quality of life stuff is in there. So may that be something for you to check out as well, Mike. I know it's a little more involved. It's not just like GOG, you press a button and the mod gets installed, but
that can help. And you sometimes you could even use 2 mods at once. So it's
What?
crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, I was a little thrown up by the mod, but Diablo 1 is still really interesting and fun, and I like the setup of it. You compared to Diablo 2, where you have all these acts and you're traveling different places. I like that it's just, here's your one town and here's your one dungeon, and it's a very big dungeon, and you're just gonna keep going down and down and down until eventually you get to hell and fight Satan. It's a good setup.
Yep.
Even something about the way these older action and RPGs work. You know, this is basically the first one where it's just like, I'm mostly actually just clicking on people and just swinging a sword, and maybe a good item will drop, probably not, but when it does drop, it's exciting. There is something about the way Diablo 4 has sort of evolved into just spamming 10 attacks on short cooldowns at all time that summon like 15 werewolves or meteors or giant rolling boulders, and there's dodge slop in Diablo now and stuff like that, and normally I like dodge slop, but I don't know, it's all gotten to be a bit much, and it's barely about the campaign anymore. It's about the seasonal content and the running rifts and raids or whatever the heck it's all called. There's a purity here. Yes, Jeff Grubb.
Yeah, I'm just looking at our list of games, and I was busy last night, so I didn't have a chance to see. Didn't you try Pillars of Eternity 2?
Yeah, so it's interesting, 'cause I did play Pillars of Eternity 2 last night for a couple hours, and it was kind of bizarre to spend all weekend playing the first one of these, and then spend some time in the newest one of these. That game is in early access. Yeah, I enjoyed that. People always have oversold
Wait, Path of Exile too.
Did I say Pillars
Thank
of
you.
Eternity?
Yeah, Path of
One
Exile.
you-
Too. I'm
yeah,
always
when
going to
you
mix
said
them up.
Pillars.
That's just
Yeah,
gonna
Path of
happen
Exile.
forever.
Sorry. Yeah, Path. Similar names there. But yeah, like I think Path of Exile has always been oversold to me as like it's more like Diablo 2 than Diablo 3. Whenever I play it, I'm like, kind of. This still mostly feels more like a Diablo 3 or a 4 to me than a Diablo 1 or 2. And I get it. Not many other people are old sickos like me who really want to go that far back. But yeah, Path of Exile 2 was definitely interesting, and it seemed like a good time. I was having fun with it. I would like to maybe explore it a bit more.
I do find it interesting that you say that because as far as I know, like I don't follow the scene too closely or anything, but Diablo 3 was, as far as I know, so different that a lot of Diablo 2 heads went over a Path of Exile 1, and that sort of became their new Diablo because it was, still a big development team, but sort of fans making the game that Diablo fans want. And it's interesting to hear you describe it that way.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely what happened there, especially early Diablo 3. Path of Exile completely benefited from that. But yeah, even then, like, I heard that, so I would go play Path of Exile 1, and I kind of got it, but for some reason, it wasn't clicking for me right away. This one was clicking for me a bit more, especially just aesthetically. It looks dark. It's everything that you want from one of these. I mean, this one, if you told me this is Diablo 4 and we never got the other one, I'd be like, oh, okay, sure. It's very much in that wheelhouse, so it was a good time. Some of the free-to-play stuff in it, even though Diablo 4 basically has all of that too now, right? Like I push M, because I expect M to be the map button. It turns out the M stands for microtransactions. You open it up, and it's like the page where it's just like, like Season of the Blood God pack, cosmetic. And
Eric Van Allen.
Do I have to let any of that stuff really get in my face and bother me? No, not really. Yet it kind of bothers me when I just open up this page, and it's like 15 logos for things that sound like Magic the Gathering expansion rejects,
Just send those links my way then, Mike. Well, speaking about tinkering and testing things out, our own expert resident fighting game person. That's right. He's fighting on the streets and on the internet. Turbo Sean McDowell, you got the chance to check out the Marvel Tokon Beta.
Yes, I did. And it's funny you say, tinkering and testing, because that's not what I really had a chance to do with this beta. Let me talk about the beta itself for a second here. It was one of those betas, and I hate this. I get why they do this, especially if they're doing network testing. But it was at very specific times throughout the weekend. Okay. And so, let me read this off. It was, what would this be my time? It was like 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Friday. And then it was 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday. And then 5 to 11. And then an early morning Sunday. It was like 4 to something. And because of that, I only had a chance to play in a little bit of it, only like a couple hours on Saturday evening, because I was like, well, it's a beta. I'll be able to play whenever. I got my code towards the end of session 2, and then I was busy on Sunday, so I could really only play in one session. But I still got a couple hours in. I still managed to get in there. The second layer of problems comes from the fact that this seems to be the Evo build, gameplay-wise, but instead of putting you into local versus multiplayer, it puts you into the online lobbies, not matchmaking.
Okay.
Arc System Works online lobbies, which is, if you've ever seen it, you may have seen it by this point. It's the one where they have the little chibi avatars, like Dragon Ball Fighters, all little Goku's running around the virtual arcade, which is awful for a beta, because I went to one of the busier lobbies. I just sat there waiting for someone to walk up to me and get some matches in. So I spent close to half the beta just waiting. That sucked.
It's bizarre that there's no button to just be like, put me into a match now.
Yeah.
Throw me in a queue.
There is in their full games now.
Sure,
because
but for the beta.
Yeah, because they know that people don't like that anymore, and yet this is what they chose for the beta, presumably show off all the Marvel stuff that they have in there. It's cute, it is neat to run around as the Gundam looking Iron Man and stuff, but not for a beta. Come on, y'all. But anyways, the game itself, I did have a chance to play it more and figure it out more, and At first I was still sort of cautiously optimistic, kind of concerned about it, because they really want you to play with like the modern controller control scheme where they have everything separated out as its own bun, which kind of feels like control soup, because then it's like, yeah, we have light, medium, and heavy buns. But then there's also a special button, and you press this. It's sort of like the B button in Smash. You press a direction and the special, and it does an attack. But then there's also the unique button, which is every character's unique trait, which also has a forward, down, or backs. And then there's the tag button, which also has forward, down, or back. And then you press combinations of these buttons to do supers and stuff, which that was a lot to take in, and it also like confused my fighting game brain of like, man, light, medium, heavy, and then doing quarter circles and Z motions sounds like it would actually be easier. It clicked a little bit more once I realized that they're basically doing the Street Fighter modern controls thing, and learning how to insert special moves and the unique moves, because like the difference is special moves will be the generic stuff like a fireball, an uppercut, you know, that sort of like Ryu kind of stuff, and then unique will be, say, Captain America. His neutral special is to throw his shield bouncing around like you would see in like the Marvel movies and stuff, and it becomes a trap for the enemy to walk into. You press back, and unique, again, it's not a shield thing, very specific to Captain America, where he takes a defensive stance. It's like the down B with Fire Emblem characters in Smash, you know, defensive stance. If you get attacked, it's one counter hit, that kind of thing. And so once you actually learn how it works with your control scheme of choice, it's very fun. And I think it's also very approachable once you, again, are comfortable with your control scheme of choice, controller, stick, leverless, whatever you play on, because there are auto combos. And it was the thing that people were concerned about, because auto combos are pretty good actually, but there's also different options, so it feels a little more like, to me it felt more like chain combos and something that I like say Darkstalkers, where you kind of do just press buttons in series to get different combos. And I think sometimes that's very daunting for people playing fighting games, is figuring out, oh, I have to memorize a combo, I have to like memorize what move goes into another move. I think it's good that the base level, it is very simple to just get combos done, and that's more about the positioning of you versus your opponent. And then my concerns were also alleviated when I saw, say, Sonic Fox was playing over the weekend. I watched the Tampa Never Sleeps tournament that they did a little bit, and seeing it at high level and seeing people still doing like those 40 hit combos and stuff, I looked at that, I'm like, oh wait, no, it's, you know, it's got that Marvel vs. Capcom in here. Like there's a little bit of, it feels weird to say Uncanny Valley, because it looks gorgeous, it sounds amazing, like the soundtrack is phenomenal, it's presentation wise amazing, but there's that Uncanny Valley of, it's not quite Marvel versus Capcom, which is what I expect. But no, it's like,
it's close in a lot of ways.
It's close in a lot of ways, and that
close enough to draw comparison, right?
Yeah, exactly. That kernel being buried in there and clearly being the inspiration, that I think is what's going to carry Tokon here, and I think that's where the depth is going to come from. Having that, again, like Smash, like you can't kind of just hit buttons and stuff happens, but when you learn the positioning and how your attacks relate to your place on the field, I think that's where the depth is going to come from, and it's a lot of fun. I'm kind of curious, just, I know the rest of you are all more casual fighting game enjoyers. Did you have any, like, were you wondering anything about Tokon, any questions about the game?
I'm just curious, you know, what the temperature check is with the fighting game community after this beta.
Sure.
People seem pretty excited, and everyone seemed to be happy and enjoying it and thirsty for more. Were there any major concerns popping up?
I think pretty much everyone like had the same arc that I did, where we get in, we play it, and boy, this feels mashy. Auto combos are very good, and there's no training mode, so it's hard for us to learn in-depth stuff, which is what we love. It's what the sickos love. Yeah. But eventually, when we did see the people who did just like Maximilian stream for 12 hours straight Friday night, so he could play that entire first session, and he was, by the end of it, you know, people like him and the aforementioned Sonic Fox and everyone, they were figuring out the sicko stuff, and it was really cool to see all the different combos that they were pulling off, and you know, the high-low mix-up, the left-right mix-up. Saw a sick clip where Sonic Fox, they called in what they were attacking on one side, and then called in assist. They positioned so it came in on the other side, and then we're attacking with the other person, switch to the other person, and the opponent has to just hold that mix. They have to figure out what's happening here. that's Marvel versus Capcom right there. And so there's still that in there. And so I think a lot of us are getting more and more excited about this game. I would say, cautiously optimistic is maybe even too negative. It's like the difference between partly cloudy and mostly sunny. Like, man, we're feeling mostly sunny right now. It's like 95% chance we're having that picnic and having a good time today, right?
Nice.
I think my quick question would just be like, as someone who's like always wanted to get into Marvel, but it has like didn't get on the ground level, and now I feel like I'm too intimidated to figure it out. Do you think this will be a new on-ramp for someone like me for this variation on what Marvel's become?
For this style of game, I do think Tokon's going to be a good on-ramp. I think the collaboration of studios here, it being, Marvel Games, Arc System Works, and PlayStation, they want to make this successful. They want to make this the new big fighting game. Like we talk about Marvel versus Capcom. And so I do think that, like I said, there's a sort of easy to learn, hard to master that is in here. I think that's, it's going to be a good on-ramp for people like you who are just looking to hop in and then eventually learn the more in-depth stuff.
How many characters are they talking about, like, in total are going to be in the game?
Oh, that's the secret of fighting games, Jan. They never tell you.
Okay.
Until the game is about to come out and you see that final roster, you don't know because they want you to buy the game and not think about the fact that this is a 4v4 fighting game that maybe is only going to have like 20-something characters at launch.
What? Which fourth of the roster do you want on your team?
Yeah, a lot of the teams, a lot of the combos were looking similar over the weekend because we only had, 6 characters to choose from, so that's going to happen.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I want to play the game of like staring at the character select screen and doing the mental math of like, okay, this spot has to go to this character, that spot has to go to this character. How upset am I going to be until they show me Cyclops, and then I'll be happy, and then I'll stop being a fuddy-duddy.
Man, Storm is there day one. I have no doubt that Cyclops is going to be there, whether he's launch or whether he's DLC. I guarantee you he'll be there, Jan. They know what the fans want.
Fantastic. They know what I want. They know what the Jans want. That's right. Sean, you've also been playing a game that I'm also very curious about, and I constantly am misspelling because of how the title is. You've been playing Lost Soul Aside.
Correct.
What have you been misspelling, Jen?
Souls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Plural souls. So many souls.
There's a lot of souls out there. So we were just talking about 6 or 7s, right? Speaking of this game, it's regretfully, I gotta say, it's kind of just okay. So this is one I've been following for a very long time. As a quick refresher, this is the one that was like a one-man passion project. A grad student put out this really cool looking like tech demo showpiece thing. Got picked up by PlayStation as part of their China Hero project, and it kind of went into development hell for a decade of roughly, because they realized they need to build up the studio to actually make a video game, because contrary to popular belief, one person does not make video games. But yeah, now it's finally here. It's out. And it's the fact that it did start 10 years ago as sort of a response to someone thinking Final Fantasy 15 looks really cool. And boy, Devil May Cry and Bayonetta play really fun.
Yeah.
You can tell that it started early. And then they kind of just got inspired by 15. 7 Remake in particular looks just like Midgar in the opening section. The combat is very fun, which is what attracted all of us in the first place. It does play very well. It does feel like if you like that classic kind of character action game like I do, DMC, Bayonetta, boy, it plays like that. And it's very fun. They even do some cool stuff, because there's the stuff you expect, like witch time dodging, and there's a devil trigger gauge, from their respective games. But they also do cool stuff like when you do a witch time dodge, you don't immediately like get in a counterattack. Instead, you gain a stock, like a little orb of light circles your character, and you can build these stocks a few times. And then when if the enemy is attacking you over and over, you can then wait. You can just keep dodging, wait for it to be over, and then unleash all these stocks as really quick attacks. If you are familiar with Virgil from Devil May Cry, how he just does a quick slash. You can do that, and he just goes do, and just quickly attacks the enemy for each of those stocks that you have. So they do cool stuff like that of sort of variations of what you know and love from character action games. The problem is when it takes itself too damn seriously with a story that sucks and is very generic, and they spend way too much time talking in a game that otherwise is about fast-paced action.
I mean, that's part of the fun of like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta is that they've got all the fast-paced action, but there's so much personality. They super don't take themselves seriously.
Yes.
You know, he's eating pizza and surfing around on enemies and stuff, and Bayonetta's wacky as all hell. Like, that's why it's like the tone of this. Like, I like character action games, but just like what I've seen of this is like, I don't know if this is what I want.
That's dead on, Dan, because even in Bayonetta and Devil May Cry, they have quite a few cutscenes. There's a lot of like story happening. Yeah. It's all like, you know, Dante being a goober, being like 90s extreme, and everyone's around like, what the hell's this guy doing? Bayonetta being super over the top and stuff. No, this is the Empire is suppressing us. We need to take down the Empire. Okay, let's plan a mission to go like destroy one of their reactors. I'm like, okay, yeah, Mako reactor and all that. I get it.
Yeah, I was literally gonna ask. Can you tell what game they were like trying to like remake in their own style? Was it definitely Final Fantasy?
I mean, this game started as a love letter to 15, and over time, it's like, oh, you too have played 7 Remake. I see.
Right.
I saw someone in chat say Temu Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like it, yeah. And it's funny because like Final Fantasy also went a much more action-oriented direction.
Right. Yeah.
And 16, that like it knew what it wanted to be from the get-go, and I think it landed it a lot better. This game unfortunately does not. It's, I don't know, if all the story and stuff wasn't there, it would be a slightly jank because it's a smaller team, but still very fun character action game. But yeah, I can't really recommend it to most people, unfortunately, in this state.
Would you send someone who's like aching for one of these games to God, what's the Gooner game from last year?
Stellar Blade.
Stellar Blade. Would you send him to Stellar Blade instead?
I was genuinely trying to think which one is he going to talk about here. Zenless, Stellar Blade. Okay. I like Stellar Blade a lot more.
Yeah.
Like Stellar Blade, all the online conversations aside, genuinely a very fun character action game with a bit of a Dark Souls edge to it. This one, this is. I usually don't bring up like price when it comes to talking about something like this. It feels weird as a full price $60 first party PlayStation published game. If this came out, even other projects that initially were in the China Hero project came out like $30.
Yeah.
And I think if this was a $30 Steam release, people would have like been much more receptive to it. But yeah, as like a bigger deal kind of thing, despite not having the marketing for it, which maybe that's reflective of something. Yeah, it's just I can't recommend it at full price and in this state. Maybe they'll update some stuff. Maybe they'll let you, get through the cutscenes and stuff a little bit quicker. But it's unfortunately a little disappointing for something I've been really looking forward to.
I still might want to check this out because I am kind of hankering for like that character action game. I pulled up the trailer for myself to just take a peek-sees at the gameplay, and I'm looking at a weapons video, and I feel like I wrote this because. And it's unfortunate that you say it takes itself too seriously because they show off you can use a scythe and then under it's cutting edge control.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you can have fun with this genre, and it's a shame when a game doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was staring at the main character here, Sean, and it was bugging me that I couldn't place why he looks familiar until you said Final Fantasy 15.
Yep.
It's just Noctis.
It's
really
super
is.
Noctis. Like I glanced at this game, it was like Final Fantasy 15, right? And then
They even have the blue particle effects and everything. Yeah, and you even change weapons because it's something that could be cool is that you have like a floating particle dragon there that was initially showing off the PS4 particle effects and stuff, and like it turns into all the different weapons just like Noctis does. And then it's just, I'm a great mighty dragon and I'm gonna have a long monologue here. I'm like, shut up.
Is he at least voiced by the Mario?
I wish. Charles Martinet would make this game a lot better. Yes.
Is that Phantom Blade Zero game part of the China Hero thing?
I think it's its own thing, I believe. Yeah, some of these Chinese action games that are coming out that are inspired by stuff are pretty cool, like I know people liked Wukong and Phantom Blade Zero and stuff like that. They look pretty cool. This is unfortunately not one of them.
Well, speaking about long overdrawn monologues that you have to sit through, Grub, Mike, and myself sat through several monologues as we completed Riven, the sequel to Myst.
Yeah, that Gan guy, a bit of a Christ complex, I believe, is what they call that, right?
Yeah, he's a yapper.
he put us in a cage and he made it talk to us a bunch. And I had to listen to that twice because the first time I did the wrong thing, but that's okay. Yeah, we finished Riven, the remake of it that came out just last year. The second game in the Monday morning's Myst with Mitch saga. I was so surprised by that game, just how different it feels from Myst, whereas Myst is almost episodic. You have this hub island, and from there you go to these different ages, and they each have their own kind of self-contained puzzles just to get those pages or just to leave there. Then, you go back and you kind of, rinse, wash, repeat. Riven has these 5 different islands, but they're all connected and they're all part of the same area. And so much of the game, like the first half of the game, is just opening up the way so that you unlock the entire island, and now you have this whole place that you can go around. And then you realize a lot of stuff that you were looking at before in there were clues or even solutions to essentially 3 big puzzles that are the puzzles of the game. There are smaller ones like open a gate here or unlock this thing there.
But a lot of those teach you the things you need to solve these 3 big puzzles, really.
Right. Like a big component of the game is just, hey, these people have their own numbering system. And you're going to have to learn how that works so that you can figure out some other puzzles in the future. And I liked that whole formula for it a lot. It was very satisfying to finally get somewhere and be like, oh, this is what this stuff meant. Now I kind of half understood it. Now I got to get the rest of the way there and push through this puzzle. And it kind of leads up to this very, at first seemingly confusing one. Here's 5 colored orbs and a grid. What am I going to do with this? And you think you're never going to get there. Then you just kind of wander around. You suss some things out. You read a journal here and there, and it all comes together. And it's very satisfying. Also, beautiful game. Gosh, it
really
looks
pretty.
great.
Yeah, this was the way for me to play this game, because I was thinking about it, and it's like definitely collecting different ideas for a puzzle from across the map and keep it collating all those things in my brain, keeping them all straight. That would be a hassle for me. The reason I like The Witness so much is each puzzle is just all right there, right in front of you. And then they can be as difficult as they want to make them. I will figure it out as long as I know it's all right here. Having to navigate the world and kind of remember, these bits and pieces. So having Mike, who's really good at that, kind of like bring all those things together, then I was free to just like think about the puzzles. And that was really fun for me. It was like, oh, cool. I could just we have this piece, we have this piece. He's going somewhere else. He's going to get another piece. Let me think about this for a minute. And it was, again, really satisfying to kind of work our way through this and just throw ideas out and see what worked. And when things didn't work, it was kind of fun as well, because it's like, okay, now we can come up with a new hypothesis about what's happening with this puzzle. And we kind of worked our way through a lot of stuff that seemed pretty complicated just by doing that over and over again. Got our way through we got a few tips from chat, but not a lot. Really, we were able to work our ways through.
I mean,
through
we're
this
so
game
handsome
together.
and smart.
Handsome and smart is a
That's
big
a big
part of it.
And also just actual really cool sort of world building and lore building and fun characters. Like, I am already feel this connection to Atris. I'm like, my guy Atris is here. All right, we gotta get Atris.
Richard Karn, yeah.
Right. Go ahead, Jed.
For me personally, Riven felt too big and too open. Sure, it's 5 islands, but I think the traversing back and forth was off-putting for me. Maybe because I got used to the contained nature of the books and the episodic nature, like you said, Mike, of the original Myst. And I don't know, Myst felt cozy. There's parts of Riven that kind of felt a little eerie and scary.
Yeah, there was some off-puttingness to it. I kind of liked some of the tonal shifts. There are definitely some cozier. You're right, because even the cozier parts, the beautiful parts of Riven is a messed up thing. But it ties back to the lore of, this age is dying. Because again, the bad guy messed it up for everybody. So things aren't great here, and it's weird because there are people here. It's like every time you actually see a person, it's a jump scare, right?
Yeah, right. It's so weird, yeah.
Because they're mostly hiding from you and just letting you do your thing. I think it's a neat way to do a sequel. This could have very easily been just literally Myst 2.
They got ambitious, and it was. Yeah. I was very glad that this game is the way it is. That was the right move back then for sure. Yeah. And even though we got the kind of toned down version that it has a little bit more quality of life and actually tones down some of that ambition, so it's a little bit easier to manage. But a lot of the spirit is still there.
Right? It's not so that remake, they do kind of rework puzzles. One, because it's free roaming now instead of just the static screens, but some of it was toning some things down. That last puzzle, still one of the more ambitious puzzles I have seen in one of these kind of games. So it's not like I felt like we were playing some easy mode version of Riven or anything
Definitely
like
not.
that. But yeah, that I always heard amazing things about that remake, and it lived up to those expectations.
Totally.
It was fantastic. I loved it. I'll be thinking about Riven for a while. Apparently, Myst 3 is much more like Myst 1 in terms of it's a lot of single screen puzzles and stuff like that. So Jan, not as much of that wandering nature coming up in that one.
This was another instance, though, just like when you watch like a major film that is like part of the film canon. As we were playing through Myst and now Riven, I'm seeing like, oh, this has influenced an obscene amount of games that I've played.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that's part of the reason why I wanted to do the series and the playthrough. I'm like, boy, Myst is very important, and it seems like not very many people appreciate that anymore. So there's a little bit like, I'm going to sit you all down and make you watch Myst.
Yeah, because the blueprints earlier this year, major component of the game of the year conversations later in the year probably, but like, oh, this is you played Myst, huh? You grew up watching Myst.
Let me ask, Mike, is Myst and Riven and all those, are they closer to something like a Blueprints experience or something like a traditional like adventure game?
I think it's closer to a Blueprints,
It's
honestly.
way closer to Blueprints.
Because when I think about like the point click adventure games, I like it's a lot of inventory puzzles. It's kind of a lot of talking to people.
This is all inferences and deductive reasoning, and
even like the way Blueprints does its story and lore, that is straight from Myst, where it's a lot of stuff from books and things like that. So yeah, especially the Myst, which again is relatively kind of a bit more straightforward. I think you would like Myst, actually.
I think you would. Man.
I could see it. I mean, I've always liked logic-based puzzle games and stuff like that. And like this seems, different than the ones I've played before. But like, I fucking love
not that
Blueprints,
different though.
so-
Yeah, not that different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I could have liked that. I bet if I had a computer that could have run it back then, I would have been obsessed with it.
It's fine. It was just pictures back then. So.
It was just a slideshow.
Yeah.
Hey, Riven had a PS1 version, which is kind of wild.
Word.
Yeah,
Yep.
but the thing is, a lot of the times these games would come out that were like these legendary talked about games back then, and I would see it come out on a console that I have and be like, it's not going to be the real thing.
You would have hated it back then, regardless of where you played it. The idea of like, I need to get something on this island over here, so I have to swap out discs every time I'm going to a different island.
my God, I
would be
remember that.
At least that would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know what helps me is that I'm a sicko for trams and trains, so the fact that I had to go on these trains all the time or enter a planetarium every time I wanted to
Of
fast
all
travel,
things.
I was like, that's all right. Well, that's okay.
They should put. Speaking of they should put Sudoku in Riven.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Sudoku.
Hey, we have like 3 more games, maybe 4 if we play Uru. There better be some kind of Sudoku style puzzle in one.
I
of
I'll
these.
be
Yeah.
an expert by then. I will have seen through the
Okay,
matrix
good.
and the
And-
code
and then,
based
Jan?
off of how I'm going. Yes.
Then, Jan, we're moving you on to Picross.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
Picross is good.
Absolutely.
Real quick, because we still got games to talk about. What is Ken?
That's
I'm
just the name
sorry?
Ken twice.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I one of the Sudoku books I bought was like Sudoku and Ken.
Oh, I think Ken is Cage Sudoku. Is that what it is?
Ken.
Aged Sudoku.
No, it's not. It's a different.
Fermented Sudoku. Yeah.
It's a different kind of thing.
Oh, okay. You got a burp.
Oh, there's
occasionally.
multiplication and division on this. I don't like this at all.
Actual math.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
Is it like when the dart puzzle got too complicated for me at Blueprints? I just like, I don't think I'm doing this anymore.
Wait, so the book was like a tag team. It was like half Sudoku, half Ken.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's like
That's
the
cold.
Super Metroid Link to the Past randomizer.
Exactly. Jeff Grubb, you have been exploring space in such a way that I am surprised by, because I know that you were high on Star Wars Outlaws last year. I think I'm more surprised that you are still checking it out on the Switch too.
Yeah, I played about 13, 14 hours on PC originally and was into it, but just kind of ran out of time. And I was always looking for an excuse to go back. And now the Switch 2 version is out, and this is like the new high water benchmark for a port from the current gen going over to Switch 2.
Yeah.
It runs kind of immaculately well. It is really impressive. One of the big things there is it has baked in's the wrong word. It has ray tracing as a fundamental technology for its lighting system. They can't take it out. It just wouldn't work, or if they did, it would be a ton more work that they're just not going to do. So the Switch 2 needs to run the ray tracing model here. That includes even like some global illumination, which is decently taxing, even some reflections that aren't even on the Xbox Series S version. And it's just locked at a really good 30 frames per second, way better than this game ran on the Steam Deck or the Asus ROG Ally when I tried it on there, like significantly better. I think that speaks, and the fact that it's trading blows with the Xbox Series S. Digital Foundry did their coverage of it. Yeah. They're like, our DNA 2, the technology behind the Xbox, the PlayStation 5, and all the handhelds, just the ray tracing stuff just isn't very good there. So the Switch, the fact that they have the NVIDIA technology, might speak to the fact that this system is going to be able to keep up with wherever ray tracing is at on consoles throughout the generation. So it's a really good sign for a lot of games like this one that they're going to run real well on Switch, as long as the developer puts in a little extra love. And that is, in this case, like the level of detail. So like how many polygons are in the geometry, they turn that way down in a lot of instances. So instead of a perfectly round bar top, you could see that there's like some sharp edges here and there. You don't really notice it when you're playing the game, but when you look for it, you see it. And apparently that was enough to get this game in a really good place. And I was able to kind of just pick it up and start playing it, and it just works really well. I'm able to play through this game, and it's kind of the way I want to play it anyhow, handheld, kind of dipping in and out, trying some missions here or there. And I played like another, 5 hours over the weekend when I had some time. And I'm really finding this to be a very good way to play that game for a game that I think is pretty decent, like a pretty good game overall.
Yeah, I was listening to the DF boys talk about on DF Direct Weekly yesterday, and I was surprised by how glowing they were about it. They were kind of just like, this is everything we always want to see in a port, especially like a port down, of just make smart cuts. And, like ray tracing, it's kind of a myth that ray tracing is super expensive. As long as you rein it in, like you said, with global illumination, which is just like a room lighting, is sort of the simple way of saying that, if people don't know. Like doing the simpler stuff, it works well on the hardware. Like you said, that NVIDIA hardware is doing a lot of like work over the modern consoles, which is very funny to see. It's just better at some stuff than what AMD was doing. And I kind of want to pick this up now and check it out because it sounds very impressive.
Yeah, and it's not like, we got Doom and Witcher 3 and a bunch of these games on the Switch 1. And it's not like those ports. Those ports are like, you look at it be like, oh, you could see in every instance where they went and turned down everything to get this game to run on the Switch. Right. This is much more like they were able to pick and choose. And it's like, yes, some things are turned down. And in some other ways, it's running just the way it does on a lot of other platforms, or at least in terms of image quality, it is reproducing those results. And so, just a very encouraging game, like a feel-good game, like Ubisoft giving this game another chance, and it like really hitting with this audience that might be willing to like pick this up because it's a novelty to have something like this running on the Switch too at this point. So yeah, just really, really happy to see that this game delivered in a way that we knew was probably possible, but I wasn't sure if developers would actually go I don't even know if it's an extra mile, but the extra work that would have taken to get it to this into this shape. I wasn't sure if that would happen. This is a sign that at least developers have charted that path. They know how to do it.
Mm-hmm. It's just encouraging too, as somebody was like maybe worried recently, like, well, how are third-party games going to look on Switch 2? Because we're hearing things about stuff like Elden Ring and others where it's like, well, what's going on here? No, like there can be good ports. Like, it can be done.
Yeah.
Maybe it takes certain smart decisions, certain technologies. I don't know, but yeah.
It's also games that are GPU dependent are going to run better because the Switch is still just a handheld. The CPU can only be so powerful. But because of what NVIDIA did tech-wise, there's a lot of good GPU stuff in there. So that's how you get this game. Yeah, that's how you get this game. Unlike Doom, which on Switch 1 was kind of just like a blurry mess at times. And then Witcher 3 kind of just looked like, more of a PS3 like downscaled version of that game, which is what you expect. It just looks like a different game. This is like unmistakably Star Wars Outlaws. It's just, it's running at 30 FPS. But also it's got the upscaling tech to do 1440p docked apparently. So like it looks like Star Wars Outlaws. They just made the smart cuts. That's really cool.
That's really good to hear. Sean, you have been donning a gi. Do ninjas wear gis? What do they wear? What is it? A robe?
Yeah, it's a gi, right?
Like a hood and stuff, Like
it
would be a hooded gi.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a name that we don't know.
Hot pants. Yeah.
Hot pants. Yes.
There you go.
Zoomies.
Yeah.
Zoobies? What is it?
Jean shorts.
Yeah.
Jorts.
What they're
Jorts. Ninja
yes.
and jorts. That'd be interesting. Like Crash Bandicoot.
I don't think there'd be as enough mobility though. But you have been playing Shinobi Art of Vengeance. We've talked a bit about this game over the last couple of weeks. I also want to say, I think Joe Musashi, right? That's his name?
Yeah.
I think he's the coolest looking ninja in a video game.
He's really the way he runs
great.
and everything, and just
Yeah.
every one of those attacks, the downward kick and then the spin, and like, fuck, it looks good.
I think like the combo of like the white and red just looks so
Striking.
sick.
Nice.
You get all the other ones too.
it's
You
a
got the
different game.
blue,
Oh,
the
not
yellow,
Striker.
the like. There's some good alternate ones too.
But Sean, what do you got to say about Shinobi?
Oh, what I want to say about Shinobi, Jan, is that Shinobi Art of Vengeance, I think, is my current game of the year.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
I
okay.
really got to go play the rest of this game.
Nice.
Everything that I was looking for in Lost Soul Aside, I am finding in Shinobi, which is awesome because I've always seen character action games as the natural extension of like 2D beat 'em ups, hack and slash games, that kind of thing. You know, like the Batman Arkham games are kind of like, you know, beat 'em ups brought into 3D, and then Devil May Cry sort of like hack and slash brought in 3D. This Lizard Cube took everything that we've learned about action games from the past like 25 years and ported it back into a 2D game.
Oh, man.
And that's like the game clicked with me when I realized that, when it wasn't just, oh yeah, it's Lizard Cube, so it looks gorgeous and the soundtrack is incredible and everything like that. But when I really started getting into the way the combat works, and I realized how much you can juggle enemies, how much you can string together moves, I am trying my best to stay in the air at all times, and it works. I'm like, this is just a character action game. This
Even
is
boss
sick.
fights and stuff, you can fucking juggle them and just keep them
Yeah.
up there and just. But it's not button mashing. I feel like it's
No.
easy to just like something about the controls and the abilities and everything. It's kind of easy to keep straight in your head.
Yes.
I think it's Sean. Would you say it's probably the best at like that character action combat feel in a 2D game? Like
It's the
you know,
best
Prince of-
I've ever seen.
I think
Yes.
it's like I think like Prince of Persia: New Crown
Yeah.
or Lost Crown was great.
That was also
this is better
excellent,
than
yeah.
that. Like this is the best I've seen.
This is doing the thing where in any character action game or something similar, I don't buy moves anymore. I've never done that at Devil May Cry or Bayonetta unless they're like missing something obvious. This is for the first time since like Beautiful Joe, where I buy moves constantly and I want to save up my money for new moves because they do new things and they work so well off of the health system, and then the shield that can go over that, and then the stagger gauge. And you want to balance out what moves you're using to get the respective gauge up or down that you want. So then you can do the execution, which is just Metal Gear Rising / Doom 2016, where, oh god, I'm low on health. I need to get this dude into execution mode so I can turn him into a pinata where health pours out when I cut his head off. It's so freaking sick.
Even with like equipping the Ninpo and stuff, where it's like, all right, I need something for shield stuff, so I'm gonna put this one on here. So it's like when those health recharger things pop up, it's all right, I'm gonna pop up, and then the down Y thing that'll take out the shields, and this Ninpo will hurt the bad guy's shields, and it's just, god damn it, that game's good.
Yeah, and they do smart stuff too. Like light attacks oftentimes don't matter in 2D hack and slash games. Normally you just want to do whatever does the most damage because an enemy will die in 1 or 2 hits anyways. But very smartly, they have the combo amulets, where the higher hits that you have in a combo, the more things you can do. Because after you pass a certain threshold and keep it going after 15 hits, 25 hits, whatever the case may be, you'll do more damage. Enemies will drop more health. So you actually are incentivized to do long combos on an enemy rather than just taking them out and moving out as quickly as possible. And that, combined with the fact that the platforming is fun, the challenges that are hidden in the levels are all really fun. You do the Rift challenges. I did my first one the other night because I've been missing them apparently, and that was a blast to do. Like some really
Some of those are
good-
hard, yeah.
They're good. I like the
Yeah,
Rift challenges
challenges.
are a combination of combat challenges and platforming challenges too. You don't know which one you're gonna get till you get there.
Yeah.
And then just the style, like when you get that final kill on a boss, when you get the execution on it and it does that big
That's
screen,
gorgeous.
like it's just fuck. I'm like
Yes.
cheering when I beat these bosses. It's
It has a
it's
style too, there's some talking in this game, not too much, it never overdoes it.
No, it's fine.
And I always love that there's a little bit of personality there, where someone will have this speech that they give Joe, and because he's Joe Musashi, he's just like, and they're like, yes, that's right, Joe, I understand what he's saying.
Exactly.
You bring up a
They
good
have
point,
fun
Joe.
with it.
Wow,
Yeah,
moved me
I'm
to tears, Joe. Oh my.
I'm absolutely loving this game. It's like I said, everything that I look for in character action games and fighting games, that just like very fluid motion and like awesome presentation with a great soundtrack, and the combat feeling incredible and really empowering you. Yeah, I haven't finished the game yet, but I think I'm close to the end, and I'm just having a blast.
Sean, did you check out Ragebound at all?
I did, and I also really like Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and I think they are games that can coexist. They are both excellent. Ragebound is definitely more platforming oriented, and this one is more combat focused. And I think that's great because it sets them apart even further, especially since Ninja Gaiden has a different art style with the pixel art and everything. And this has the gorgeous hand-drawn art and everything like that. They feel like different games, and they're both awesome. Yeah. I had more gripes with Ragebound, like, they definitely brought in more Souls elements. I think that's like what their last game did, right? Because they did Blasphemous, I believe.
Yeah, the last games have those elements.
And which was, I always heard people describe that as like Dark Souls in 2D. And some of that is in Ragebound. Like, the bosses take a while to get through and stuff like that. And that was starting to turn me off. But I got through it, and I was like, for the most part, yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. But this is just, I have basically nothing negative to say about Shinobi. It's just been nothing but fun.
That's sick. Okay.
I want to see if you 100% it, because like I was loving it so much, I was like, I'm definitely going to 100% this thing. And I got to like 95 or so, but like there were a couple like the platforming Rift ones where it's like, okay, if I tried this 30 times, I bet I could do it. But, I got to move on to other stuff. But I'm curious if you do 100.
You can tell that's why I'm leaning towards Dan, because I looked at my percentages through the levels, and it goes up from like 10%, 15 to 20, and eventually I am starting like 100% levels. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm really, really falling into this one.
When I would go back a lot, too. Like, you get some ability that lets you go up, and then like gusts and stuff. It's like, well, okay, I remember seeing those back then. I'll go back and get a couple of those medals or whatever.
It's not quite Metroidvania because it is a level base, but you do get abilities that allow you to tackle the earlier levels in different ways.
It's not a Metroidvania in that it's not this one giant map, but it made me think of like Order of Ecclesia. Remember that Castlevania?
Yeah,
because it's like you would pick from the overworld map, like in this, where it's like, I'm going to go to this area, and it's not straight linear. Like, a lot of these levels are linear, and then it gets to a point where it's more Metroidvania, a little more open. But it made me think of Order of Ecclesia that way.
Folks, how do you feel about us taking a quick bricky break, and we'll get to the big game of the week, last 2 weeks, really, and then I'll get the news as well. Were you okay with that?
Let's do it. I allow it.
Oh, thank God. Mike allowed it. All right. We'll see you on the other side. Yes.
Jan, my computer's sick. I've decided it's time to start building a new one. I just don't know where to start.
Grub, if your computer is sicky poo, you got to start with MSI, which just dropped something big in its brand new Z890 and B860 Intel motherboards.
Are those the motherboards that unlock the power of the Intel Core Ultra Series 2 CPUs?
Yes, sir. These Mobos, as we're calling them on the streets, are powerhouses for gaming, streaming, and whatever intense tasks you need to throw at them.
Okay, but Jan, you know me. I'm scared of tools. That screwdriver's so sharp.
It's okay, bud. MSI made them Jeff-proof and maybe Dan-proof as well, which means they're easy to work with. No more wrestling with tiny little screws or confusing manuals. We're talking easy debug LEDs that tell you exactly what's going on. Toolless installs for your M2 drives and GPUs, or GPUs. We're calling them GPUs too now.
Okay, hell yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. MSI has that modern BIOS as well that looks like it was actually made for humans to use, not some relic from 2003. Give me more of that.
Yes, that's right. It's going to be so easy to get secure boots on the ground. It's like PC building on easy mode, Grub. And here's the best part. Giant Bombcast listeners, MSI is giving you 10% off these new regularly priced Z890 and B860 boards. Just head over to us-store.msi.com and use promo code BOMBCAST at checkout. Boom, instant savings.
I'm going to stack that discount. They allow you to do that. And with MSI's got ongoing promotions that's potentially going to score me up to $120 in Steam codes. That's basically free games just for upgrading. Everyone listening should do the same.
So if you're ready to upgrade your setup, do not wait. Visit us-store.msi.com and use the code BOMBCAST, BOMCAST, all in lowercase, and give your PC the upgrade it deserves.
MSI, making PC building less of a headache and a lot more fun.
Mobo! All right, this is going to be a weird game to dance around spoilers and also a weird game to spoil. So if you are super sensitive about things that you unlock, mechanics, boss fight mechanics, boss fights, in regard to Hollow Knight Silksong, I would skip ahead maybe 10 or so minutes. If not, hey, we're going to lay it all out on
I don't know.
the
There's a
table.
lot to talk about.
Okay, until you hear the news music. Someone will provide you a timestamp, perhaps. But
I'll
again,
get it figured out.
thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Hey, I really like this game. What the fuck is up with this map?
What's wrong?
Well, okay. Now I'm curious. Did he play the first one?
No.
Okay, because I think you are describing what my issue was with the first one initially. Like, what the fuck? I'm just going around in the dark here, and I gotta not find a map for until the 6th time I'm in this area. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about how shitty the map looks because I could draw a better map. I think
just
I
visually?
might
It's
draw
Also,
a better
it's
map.
also not a super useful map. I mean,
Also,
it's
the
fine.
lack
It's
of
fine.
map for quite a while.
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
that
you
is
bought
definitely the thing that
stuff,
bounced
right?
me off. Of
You
the
bought the
original
quill
game.
and the compass and all that, right?
Yeah, you get to them eventually.
I get to them eventually. I'm just
Well, and then you have to have the compass equipped and stuff like that.
I have not turned the compass off once. That would drive me insane.
Oh yeah, that thing's
right.
always
Yeah,
on.
no, of course.
guys
Yeah,
say-
it takes up a whole
You guys
slot.
saying compass or compass?
Compass.
Compass.
No one says.
Never thought of it before.
No,
That's,
Backlar,
you
don't
did
say-
it first.
Back,
That's
are you
funny.
saying compass?
I
I know
guess
it's
I
spelled
haven't.
with an O.
No, you're
Compass?
again. This is not me.
Chimney.
I'm compass. I guess I do say compass.
It's a
Okay.
compass. Yeah. It does sound like compass.
It does.
I wish
Yeah.
it didn't,
Okay.
but it does.
It
yes.
just does.
Maybe that's how it works.
Call it what
I
it
don't
is.
know.
That's
Yeah.
who it
Well,
wants
yeah.
to be. It's fine.
Yeah.
we just
yeah.
came back from break. I don't have to. Thank you though, Dan.
Hey, I think this game freaking rules. I
good.
kind of forgot how much I like Hollow Knight, and I see some people and they'll watch me play or things like I don't get it, and boy, Hollow Knight and Silksong especially, they just get so many of the most basic fundamentals so right. Like you jump, and wow, that's a really good feeling jump. And we were just talking about Shinobi, and it's interesting because that game is a game with this really intricate combo system and like juggling. And here, the combat is mostly just this one really fast attack, but boy, is it the best feeling attack button ever. It just comes out so fast, like, huh! And a lot of fights are just, where are the spots where you can maybe get 2 or 3 of those hits in
Yes.
real quick, and then you get out of there, and there is something so incredibly satisfying about that.
Even just the feedback, like I know there's like an emblem you can put on or whatever, or crest that like makes it so you don't get knocked back at all.
I like the knockback.
But
I
do
did not
too.
put
It's
that
like,
on.
thunk. It feels like you're really hitting something each time. Like there's something about that hit that feels better than maybe any melee 2D thing I've ever felt.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
it definitely was like a learning thing of like, the knockback will happen even if I'm getting bored and I'm swinging when I'm doing a jump and I kind of barely hit this wall over here and now I fell down a goddamn pit because I had to like visually stim myself while I'm playing a video game because I'm a fucking idiot. But I eventually am like really getting on, I'm really getting on this game's wavelength. It rules. It rules. I
Yeah.
can't stop playing it.
I mean-
it super won me over. I love the fact that there's just as much chance that once I beat a boss, I'm gonna find another boss before I find another goddamn bench. Sometimes that's like really funny to me. Like this
Yeah.
game, man, there really are 40 bosses in this game. You could just tell because there's one every 30 feet,
And there are
they're all real
true
good.
intentional fuck you moments in this game that I can't help but just laugh at because it's like, look, we know what we're getting into with this game, and like it'll do a couple things where it's like, oh fuck you guys, like, but like in a good way.
It's interesting because there's almost a disconnect of they clearly made this game for people who played Hollow Knight because it is a bit more difficult in a lot of ways, and they do have some of those fuck you moments, right? But there's a lot of people playing this who have not played Hollow Knight 1 because it's just such a kind of zeitgeist thing at the moment, right? So,
Yeah.
But I think one of the smart things they did there compared to 1, I know Hollow Knight 1 opened up very quickly. It felt like this massive game almost immediately with all these branching paths, and you would get lost. Here, even though you still have like the stuff with, you're not going to get the map for a little bit, even once you get it, it's not going to be super useful right away. They, like the first 5 hours of the game, relatively linear-ish, right? You're kind of just mostly going to the right, and then you're going up. I'm like 10 hours in now, so I'm at the point where it has opened up massively, and suddenly there are different paths I can go to, and a bunch of extra areas I haven't been to, and areas I can go back to and unlock new things. So you do get there, and that's a part of Hollow Knight I think a lot of people did eventually love. I know a lot of people fell off because it is also overwhelming right away.
I'm doing shit now where it's like I'm probably like 15 hours in, and it's like I will get to an area and I will beat my head against this trying to get to the end of it for just hours, only to realize like, oh fuck, this is like there is like kind of an intended path through these areas and boss order and stuff. It's not strict, but it's there. And I'll just be like, oh fuck, I could have made life so much easier for me if I had just gone over here.
What was
and fought
making
this
it
boss
difficult on those like hard, more difficult paths? Is it the combat or the platforming or both?
It can definitely be both. I mean, but there are some where it's like there are, definite like aerial abilities and things like that that will kind of soften your.
Well, I mean, let's talk about one of them.
We can just talk about it. Like there's the hover thing. I don't.
Yes.
It's basically not really a flutter jump. It's more of just like a hover down. Like you hold A and then you hold A again.
Let's expect that we're going to get most of the Metroidvania abilities in this Metroidvania game, and that's like one of the early ones you get in Symphony of the Night. It's here as well.
So
Again,
for instance,
like a glider kind of thing.
It's like a glider thing. Yeah, totally. And so like Hunter's March, which I see is an area that people are talking about a lot because it is a pain in the ass, but if you go there and
I'm not good with names. Can you describe real quick?
Yeah, there's like the little red flower buds, and you gotta like do the diagonal slash.
I brute forced those with the early everything, with no flutter, no downward thing. I was just doing the diagonal jump, and I got through like most of that thing by just brute forcing it. And it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I could do that. But as soon as I got some of those other things, I was like, oh.
Like it gives you the tools and stuff, like the air dash. If you're just doing the diagonal slash and air dashes, you can get through all that area. But then once you get the like glider thing, it's like, oh fuck, that would have been so much easier. Which you're talking about the downward one.
Yeah, but that's an optional one.
That. I've not equipped that once because it's like I know some people like, and it's easier to do the bounces when it's straight down like the first game. But I fucking love that diagonal dash so much. Yeah. It's in combat too because you can get into that boom 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 like back and forth routine.
Well, it feels really awesome. The thing is like. I can't tell. I'm still like learning that system. I think if I have, that's called like the Reaper ability. If I have that one, is that the one that allows me to do the run and uppercut attack? I think that's what it is. And I love that so much.
Crest.
So this whole crest system is interesting because it's both the slots for your badges, which is what gives you extra abilities, but it basically changes your core move set too. Right. It changes the look and feel and timing of your basic attack animations or your running attack.
Is Reaper the thing that gave me the downward attack? Is that something different?
The first one is so the first one's diagonal. Reaper's what gave you that downward one.
Okay, all right, okay.
So,
it's not straight down. There is a crest that gives you basically the movement of the first Hollow Knight, which is like a straight down thing, like a pogo.
Oh, okay. This is like a swing down.
I like that third crest a lot. I was using it for a while until recently where I kind of upgraded my first crest because I was like, oh, yeah, now this is basically just the Hollow Knight one crest, and I think it was a smart thing to put that in.
But see, I had one boss fight where I switched to Reaper. I think it was the Moorwing fight. I switched to Reaper. But I have not wanted to switch to others because it's like you get those memory modules, and it's like, okay, well, I'm expanding my basic, one, and so now I can equip 2 blues and 2 reds and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to go to another crest where I can only do one.
You kind of become
each.
invested in them, and those crests aren't necessarily super easy to come by. Part of me almost wishes, maybe like the crest unlocked one for each thing because I'm a little bit like I think I'd like to use this one, but I unlocked all of the crests in that Reaper one, and then later was like, I don't like this one. Actually.
Yeah, and you can't refund it, you can't respec that thing, so it's just like, well, I know for sure I like the base move set, so I'm just gonna stick with that and go nuts with it. God, the boss fights.
On Reaper, though.
The boss fights are so freaking.
They're unbelievable.
Awesome.
Some of the best boss fights I've ever seen. Just the patterns and just like it's. I've said this about many different games in the past, where it's just the thing where you go in, you get your ass whooped the first couple times, then it's like, well, okay, I've learned that. I get to the next phase, and then Shinobi. I think I was saying the same stuff too, where it's just like you're gonna die a bunch. Like Moorwing, I fucking died. Like Bonk heard me from 2 floors up screaming, and like I'm not a super vocal when I'm just like playing games by myself at home, not streaming.
The silent.
I'm not yelling and stuff. Yeah. I'm fucking screaming at this fucking Moorwing thing. And it took me, I'd say well over an hour. I'd say like 30 tries. And I did see that they nerfed it. And now I feel I feel like someone who like paid off his student loans and now I'm mad about student loan forgiveness.
No, it's a badge of honor, Dan. It's a badge of honor.
Well, I fucking had to go through this.
No, just to be clear, that is a universally good policy. I don't want anyone to be.
I feel like one of those people that's mad about it, Like,
but did you do I won't get. Did you do the Clockwork Dancers boss fight where there's like 2 of them? and they kind of were like just moving. Oh, oh God, it was such a good one.
I don't know if I did.
Real quick, like Morwing, these bosses, like what is making them difficult? Morwing didn't give me too much trouble. That was like four attempts, but it was like I was definitely like getting frustrated because I'm like, these patterns are so simple and they're so telegraphed. Like I could tell what's happening, and I think they just have a lot of health. And then I'm like, I kind of like get sloppy, and then at the end of the fight, like they just go on long enough that it's like it punishes you if you aren't locked in.
It tricks you into getting greedy, and so much of difficulty is teaching yourself don't be greedy.
Stylish. Yeah, that is my Achilles heel with these games. Is if you give me stuff that looks cool and feels cool, I'm gonna want to do it in every opportunity, even when I shouldn't. I want to like make this fight feel as cool as possible because I feel like I'm supposed to, instead of playing it safe. And that's when I
and you get greedy, you get in, you try to do too many attacks, and while you're doing that, you're not seeing how many health pips you have left and everything, or you're healing at stupid times, or it's like instead of waiting for an attack and then healing while they're getting ready for the next one, you do it at a bad time. It's interesting how, like, you say Morwing didn't take you a bunch. It's like I think everyone's going to have the different ones they struggle with, because like Morwing was hell for me, but then I heard people be like, oh, just wait for Savage Beastfly, and like I didn't have that much trouble with Savage Beastfly. So I do think it's just like I don't know.
That's the From Soul or the From game influence there, right? Where it's like these bosses are gonna like really gonna trip up certain people, and it will be different for everyone. Yeah.
But and you mentioned From, and I think that's why it's like like Sekiro, for example. That was the type of game where you couldn't just cheese and level up, and you had to just get good. Similar with this, you can't really cheese that much. You can't. It's not like leveling up with XP. You can do the rosary stuff and everything. But I think this clicks for me, whereas I was frustrated by Sekiro is because it's the parry stuff. Like I'm not like an anti-parry game guy or whatever, but like I'm not as good at parrying as I am at dodging and being on the offense. And so like this is all about utilizing your mobility for these boss fights, avoiding their attacks, getting in there, knowing when to get your shit in, how to stagger them, go in, do a ton of attack there, when to heal. I can do all that. It's just the like very specific frame-specific parrying stuff I can't do, which it's not this,
Another thing I love is just all of these little side characters. I think all of them are just really interesting.
Everyone rules. Everyone's so good.
Cool. Shurma is such an incredible character. It's one of the first ones you find. Well, Shurma is the pilgrim with the hat, and she's singing all the time.
Oh, she's the map lady. The map lady.
No, not map lady. Not map lady. That's
not map lady. It's the one that goes, Fare du la Simone.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, the first time you see her, it's like, she's on the other side of a gate, and you unlock it. She's like, wow, can you believe that gate just opened?
And I loved it. I'm like, you're right, you did it. And you know what? I'm hoping, I have no idea where it goes. I'm hoping by the end you find out, like, actually, no, there is some magic to her song, and actually it's powering you up, and you're like, actually, you're the one answering her prayers. Like,
because there's all these pilgrims, right? And they're like, we don't even use weapons. That's sacrilege. And like most of them die, and like some of them are like you find them later, and a lot of them are like kind of harrowed and whatnot. But Sherma's just like la la la. I found a hot spring. Come join me, and she's just super happy to be there.
And but there's like 50 of these guys. Like every single one is cute and kind of dumb and fun. And I love all of them.
Have you met the spa guy that like he joins the flea circus and gives you like a little spa? Have you done the thing with him?
Oh, I didn't go in there because he gave me bad vibes. I guess I should do it anyway.
I'll tell you this. Go in there and hang out in the spa, and there is something you can do if you don't ever want to pay again to go into the spa.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Really made me laugh. Yeah.
There's so many so many times, especially later, I'll go off the beaten path and I'll find something like really interesting or kind of important and seeming that I'm like, maybe you could just even miss this entirely. And I love that the game can work like that. Like I kind of like went back to the first area, like the very first area, and found this side path. I'm like, I can't believe this was here. Whoa.
Or the Morwing boss fight that I was talking about, like that's an optional. I heard you can miss that. After.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's insane. It's like that seemed like a big major boss fight. It's like, no, you can just skip that.
It's gosh, it's really neat. I love the way the game looks, especially the environments. Everything is sort of, still and spooky and off-putting, but there's a strange beauty to all of it as well. It kind of goes back to some of the best Super Metroid areas. I still think that is the best kind of design I like in these sort of games. So there is something creepy just inherently about running around these giant areas by yourself. When you get that eeriness translated into the aesthetic of the game, it does that really well.
There's like a mystery too, where it's like I don't really understand the mechanics in the back that are like, because whenever you get to a new area, all you want more than anything is to see those little discs and know you're getting close to the map lady and stuff. And there are times you'll get there and it's like, okay, this is where she is. I'm going to mark it on my map. This is where she is. I'm going to come back once I have rosaries. And you go back and she's gone. And it's like, did I trigger something that made her go to a different area?
She does
And,
seem to move around a lot. Like for a while, she would be planted in the hometown, but I don't even see her there anymore. So.
Yep.
What do you mean the discs? Is there like
she's got the little like rings that like
Right,
they'll be hanging sometimes or stuck in the environment.
Right,
And like
okay.
that's a tell that like she's nearby, basically,
right.
or she could be there at some point.
Right.
Yeah.
The visuals you were speaking about that, Mike. That there's like something about that parallax where it's both the most in your face parallax ever and yet super subtle at the same time. I think it's just it's natural looking in a way that like parallax is supposed to be very stylized, but this it just looks like it's just gently sucking you into the screen, and I don't know, it really is mesmerizing to me as I'm playing.
Yeah, they just have nailed this style of game
It
down.
just feels like they had a lot of time to really polish every aspect of it. Yes, Sean McDowell.
I did have a question for one Jeff Grubb from GiantBomb.com.
Yeah.
You, I thought, were like me in that you kind of bounced off of Hollow Knight 1 after trying it like a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, bounced off, like, yeah, I guess bounced off is probably the right way to put it. I definitely started up several times and couldn't click with it.
Okay.
Not that I thought
curious.
it was bad.
Yeah, I know we have an entire legacy on the internet surrounding that. I am curious what it is about Silksong specifically that like sort of brought you around on Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I think it was first of all, I did have a good understanding of the map system. That I know that now that is a big part of what sort of caused me to bounce off. I was finding those maps in the first game. I was just like, I want to know where I'm supposed. Like, just give me a direction. Like, give me an idea of like where I'm supposed to be headed. Like, give me some audio cues. And I think what this game does is there are several audio cues, and like you'll hear that singing from a couple rooms over, and I'm like, at least that is giving me something to work toward. And I think that was enough to bridge the gap. And then I got into, I think, the first boss fight pretty quickly, and then really soon after that, the second boss fight. And I was like, oh, I'm like feeling a pace here of progression that feels really nice. And so I'm already sort of on the treadmill, and it's carrying me along. I'll just see what's next, and then another power up, and now a new set of skills, and then another power up, and then another boss fight, and another boss fight. And I'm unlocking the map, and I have a good idea in my head of like how the map works. And then I'm like, oh, I'm lost. I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't think I actually went to that door over there that just has a whole other named area. Let me go down there. It's like, oh yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. And once those things start like clicking one after another at a relatively rapid pace, I'm on board for one of these. I just like kind of didn't get to that point with the first Hollow Knight. Okay. And again, I could tell this is a good game and I will eventually love it, but this one's just making it a little bit easier for me to love it.
Okay, interesting.
And not being surprised by it helps, I think. Because, like, that was the thing with the first one. I think I had the exact same thing as Grub, where it's just like, man, where the fuck am I going? I don't want to go down here and get lost. And then when I go back, I don't have any sense of where I'm going. Like, you know what you're signing up for this time.
Yeah, because you know what to expect. It's not like you're comparing against our Metroidvanias so much as against Hollow Knight itself.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, no, Sean.
by all
please.
means, Jans. No. I insist.
No.
I insist.
Sean, you're the youngest.
He's
Go.
insisting.
That's true. You are the youngest.
Jan denied my insistence. That's so rude of him. Just to offer a different perspective is that I fired it up just to try it out. I would try to go in open minded and say like, look, I didn't like the first one for just a variety of reasons. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't clicking. I thought I'd try Silksong, and surprise, surprise, the game that originally started as DLC for Hollow Knight, kind of more Hollow Knight. They refined some stuff. You're playing as a different character. It feels a little different, but it is mostly more of a game in that vein. And so for me in particular, as much as I love Metroid, it's my favorite gaming series, but I don't usually love Metroidvanias because I typically don't like how much Castlevania is in them.
Sure.
And I've just never... I like Symphony of the Night and the GBA one's fine enough. I just don't like that Metroidvanias tend to be longer games. They tend to take, like the RPG elements. They tend to be slower combat, stuff like that. And that's just never really been my thing. And so playing Hollow Knight, I was like, okay, I can see that this is a game made for people who like this stuff. It's a well-made game. It's just not my cup of tea. And that's why I got out of Silksong. It's just the various issues that I had with Hollow Knight 1 are, specific to me, and I think other people are feeling the same way. You know, it's clearly there's huge love for Hollow Knight and Silksong, and just some of us are just gonna bounce off of it, and I think that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Because there are games, like I was just, gushing about Shinobi being such a fast-paced game and like combat heavy, combo heavy, and that's for people like me. And I think it's cool that Silksong is out here for people who do want the more slower pace, exploration-driven experience instead.
Yeah, and I think that slow pace in terms of like the character movement and mobility options early on is like it speeds up. Like you do eventually get the dash, and that dash turns into a sprint, and it feels awesome. It's such a good feeling run. But the game is meant to be played at a slower pace. It is meant to be like you're supposed to take your time. If you don't know exactly what's ahead of you, you better be going slow, or else you're going to get punished. And that is, I think, something that will cause some people like, okay, like, what do you want from me? You're giving me these abilities, but should I, like, can I actually take advantage of them? It's like, no, you need to take your time here. And it does feel like it's rubbing up against players in some ways. I can see that.
If you are in the camp of this is a video game version of going to the car and realizing I don't have my car keys, you're not gonna like this. Like, you kind of have to like getting a little lost and having to run around and explore.
Strange analogy.
And if someone brought that up,
That was Northern Lion that said that. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, was that Lex
I don't think it
Luddy?
makes
Okay.
sense even if he said it.
In his context, it's more understanding. Yeah. You guys went and played this game like normies.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I did
God.
science.
Oh.
I did some inadvertently did some science.
Put it on a Bunsen burner? Like, what'd you do?
Yeah, I want to see what its boiling point was. I sat down to show Dib this game just because I wanted him to look at the pretty animation and the colors and all that. And he said, "Give me the controller." And I said, "Okay, Sweaty, let's see how you play your first Metroidvania." So what do you guys think? What do you think?
Oh boy,
What do you think
what is his
happened?
obnoxious read on this?
Well, I have an equally obnoxious read when he said to
good.
me, "Does it have to be bugs?" And I said, and I was sort of like, "Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. They're cute bugs, but they're still bugs nonetheless."
Yeah.
I like the
I don't necessarily love the bug thing either.
Yeah,
I love thing.
it's not for. It's fine. It's
wasn't
not
for me
gross
either.
enough for me to be
Jan,
upset.
Jan,
So, but how do you think it went with him?
Did you get frustrated and quit within?
I think the safe bet
15?
is that he got lost and hated it.
Oh, I want to be surprised that he just showed you up and made you look like an absolute wimp.
I start playing. He's like, "Give me the controller," and yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of everything. He got to that first boss, and he was just like, "What is this? Like, why is this hard?" This kid's used to Astrobot. He's like, Astrobot's he's like, that's a game where I could play with, my eyes closed. And I'm like, yeah, turns out there's a lot of games that are hard, and this is your first hard game. You're going to have to like.
Did he have trouble with the first jump in Cuphead as well?
Man, Cuphead, he just likes the brand Cuphead. I know your controversy with that game. But so he was pissed. The boss killed him 5 times. He's like, "This is bad." He actually went in his room. He goes, "I don't like this game. He's like, "You know what? It's a bad game, Dad. Some games can be bad."
Did you scream skill issue
I
at him?
didn't scream. I said, so I'm not joking. I'm probably airing too much of the laundry here. Like 15 minutes went by, right? He comes back in and he's like, "I'm sorry I acted that way." And I was like, "I get it, buddy. I get it. I understand."
Heated gamer moment. Is that his first heated gamer moment?
His first
He plays Rocket League
HGM.
online. No
Yeah,
way.
his first HGM. It was beautiful. It happens when any child turns 10. It was, and I was like, "Listen, you're kind of mean to me there." Because I was like a little laugh. I was laughing. I was trying not to, but what he was doing was so cute that he was like so frustrated. I kind of laughed at it a little bit, and I'm like, "Oh, you're just being a dumb little kid."
I think we've all been that problem where like watching a friend or family member like struggle in
Yeah,
a
and you
video
laugh
game,
a little
and we think
bit.
it's we think it's funny.
Sure.
but they
No,
are,
do it to
they
me.
are having a
Whenever you
bad
guys-
time.
Whenever you guys are struggling on Blight Club, I don't think there's anything funny.
So he came back and he's like, "I would like to try that again."
Okay,
And I was like, "All right." And he beat the boss on the first try.
there you go.
That's it.
You
That's
got to
how it
cool off
works.
sometimes. Gotta
Yeah.
take a
Now-
breather.
He went to his room to go watch a video. That's what he did.
Now listen, I don't know if this guy's making it through any more of this game. That was a traumatic experience, but it was growth.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a a tangible mile marker
like-
in his evolution.
Give him Metroid Dread or something. Give him. Well,
No, I don't
That's a
think
pretty
so.
hard one.
Yeah, I
that's
think
got
this
the
is
hard
Ori
counters.
one.
Yeah, give
Like
him Ori.
no,
Yeah.
like one of the GBA Castlevanias.
Yeah. Circle of the
you guys
Moon.
throw that out like he's just gonna play a GBA game, and I just don't
nah.
But it's on
know.
the
Dread-
Switch.
I think
there's
Dread
a
is good.
collection.
It's very modern, has a lot of quality of life stuff. I think that would be a good one if he wants to style.
There's probably
Yeah,
a lot
maybe-
of easy mode.
I
in there.
feel
think
like the
Ori.
robots might
Yeah.
be too scary for Dib though.
Yeah, but there's like
That's
I think
possible.
they added an easy mode now. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
possible, I'm going to play this in front of him more and see if I can
Yeah.
kind of incept him.
Emmy was definitely looking over my shoulder when I was
Yeah.
helping her get to sleep last night, and she was super into Expedition 33. She's like, "What is going on in this game?"
Yeah, totally.
She seems a little bit less into this one. I was like, but she was also pretty sleepy, so I'm gonna play again and see what she thinks and
Now-
kind of get her opinion on it.
Is the gimmick really just getting into French culture?
I think,
That's it.
of course,
Maybe.
always. Yes.
Jan, I thought it was cute that you thought Div's problem with the GBA game would be its accessibility on the Switch 2 and not the fact that it looks like a GBA game.
Yeah,
I was
he's
thinking the same
Beautiful.
thing.
Those are beautiful.
I like
timeless
it.
games.
These
I
pieces of
love
shit
it.
play Roblox. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
he does not anymore. No, but it was fun. So maybe there is this encouraging. He woke up the next day and was just like, "You didn't." He's like, "You made your own save, right?" So I was like, "All right." So maybe there is some light at the end of this tunnel. We'll see.
That is a rough starter Metroidvania.
Oh
That's
yeah,
a
we
really
threw him
tough
in the
one.
deep end. You
And
know.
then your
Yeah.
first one being Super Mario Brothers 2 Japan. You're like, this
Yeah.
is platforming games? What are you
Give,
talking
give
about?
him, give him Shadow Complex.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
Actually,
Yeah,
not a bad one.
Yeah.
The
Wasn't that
guns, I don't
difficult.
know. It's killing, a lot of killing
Also
in
the-
that
the
game.
Mormon undertones, yeah.
Keep saying Ori.
Ori, he definitely saw Ori at one point. He was much younger, so maybe there.
Actually,
but
Metroid Zero Mission. Yeah, it's a Game Boy Advance game, but come on.
Yeah, that game gets going.
Yeah, it does.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
I just need more kids to like Metroidvanias back. This is
Sounds
important
like
to
it.
me.
Well, apparently they
It's
do.
important.
Apparently a lot of people do like
think they
Metroidvanias, but
do.
only these two,
Yeah,
and they should
what-
play more of them.
Yeah, like I should not take this as a sign that this genre is growing. This is just
No.
a Hollow Knight thing, right?
It's just a Hollow Knight thing, and
Sometimes one game standing out can be good for the genre.
So,
You know,
yeah.
you have stuff
It's
like
better than no game.
Persona kind of carrying turn-based RPGs outside of Pokemon for kids. You know, they play Pokemon, they graduate to Persona, and they're like, oh wait, I should check out more of these. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's good for the genre. Rising
Instead
Tide.
of
I hope so.
collecting
It's just-
monsters, I collect friends. What?
it's just like this game's gonna sell probably like 20 million copies. Let's say 20 million to be nice, and
No, let's say 100 million.
no, let's say 20 million, and then Prince of Persia: Lost Crown's like at 1. I'm just saying, like maybe 19 million of you should give Prince of Persia: Lost Crown a try. I think you might like it.
Would this be the highest selling Metroidvania? Let's say it hits 20.
Oh,
But
easily, yes.
Yeah, Hollow Knight
yeah.
1
Really?
is the best-selling Metroidvania.
I mean,
so there's
that
easy
is
that.
Yeah.
wild to me. Like the success is just so.
Oh,
like, it's crazy.
Yeah, Dan, I found it fascinating the other day. You didn't know. Metroid games rarely sell 1.5 million.
I think it
that's
was
the
both
average.
ways. I didn't know Metroid sold so low, and I also didn't know Hollow Knight sold so much. Like when you told me that this has sold more than any Metroid, that blew my mind.
I think like for real, within the next month, the 2 Hollow Knight games will have outsold Metroid as a series. Like within
But
a
you know,
month.
yeah,
If
I
it
do
hasn't
think.
already.
It's almost certainly very close. So it's like probably they said 5 million, or was did we get a number for Hollow Knight 2? I don't know. But it's probably around
We haven't
5
got a
million.
number 2.
The first one was 15 million. I guess Metroid generally is around 22 million. You know, those are fuzzy numbers, so it's close.
I do think that the hype has been crazy with the whole situation leading up to this, but right now I do think if you made like a Mount Rushmore of Metroidvania games, it would not be a crazy thing to put this on there. I'm not done with this one in particular, but just Hollow Knight. Like I think it's what the front runners would be like Symphony, Super Metroid, Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia, maybe Ori Will in the West, also incredibly good.
It's really good. I don't know if I'd put it on the level of these
I
other
love
ones.
Ori
but
Will in the West,
It's
but that's
good.
amazing.
yeah,
That's
it's
also one that really broke through to the mainstream as well because the way it
Really?
looks and sounds.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's Xbox too. So, yeah, but I think you're right, Dan. I think this is there's a lot of hype, and it seems to be leading up to the hype. There's always conversations with these games about difficulty and stuff like that. They're meant to be difficulty games that push up against you a lot. That's kind of the
Although
flavor
I'm
here.
also like interested to see people who are like giving their feedback on the difficulty because this is not their game or not their franchise, not their genre, and they're like, okay, well, is it supposed to be this difficult? All right, like here's how I feel about that. I want to hear more people talk about their experience with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, we'll get into it. I see there's a news story, so we'll talk about it. But I do think there's a difference between difficulty and accessibility when it comes to this, because something that annoyed me when I was playing Silksong was, okay, I died to a boss fight because I don't know the pattern yet, but I go all the way back to the save point, and that's something where like a lot of games in Metroidvanias will just checkpoint the boss fight. I believe Dread did that, right?
Yeah.
Where you just restart the boss fight.
That is one thing, because even that the walk back, right? That was a FromSoft thing, and even the newer FromSoft games don't really have very long walkbacks anymore.
Yeah,
So
Elden Ring fixed that.
So,
So it's like I get it's an older school part of the genre, like the older Metroid games do that, sure, but it's also those are often like right in front of it, and maybe I was missing something, but I'm like, man, that bench is many rooms away from the boss fight. Like,
sometimes I wonder if I was missing a shortcut or something, but yeah, some of the walkbacks were a bit brutal.
I'm okay with the boss fights being hard as long as Super Meat Boy Celeste it and just like keep going over and over again.
Yeah, like there's not a quick start, restart encounter or something like that.
Right,
You can't do
and
that
I think
from like
just
the menu.
adding that as an option would be a great way to make it more accessible without toning down difficulty.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just you're omitting the thing that you've done a million times before. Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic. Any
It's a
other
great game.
lingering thoughts about Silksong before we move on, boys?
Game of the year is going to be fucking nuts this year. I have like 5 that I have no idea what order I'm going to put in on my personal one.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Okay, real quick before we
crazy.
get to the news, what are those 5, Dan?
Death Stranding, Bonanza, Expedition 33, Shinobi, this.
Blueprints?
And then Blueprints is like, I do think that's maybe going to be more in the kind of middle of the list there. I'll say now, I don't think Blueprints is going to be my game of the year by any means, but it'll do very well. But yeah, those 5 I think are all just kind of jockeying, and I have no idea what order they're going to be in.
Speaking about jockeying, y'all still need to play Uma Musume.
That horse
Knew that
died.
was coming. You were looking for a
I
word
did,
to
Jan.
slide
They
that
do
in.
not.
But for me personally, I think it's wild how much brain space, and it kind of reflects on the Bomb 12, actually. Go vote on the Bomb 12 right now. Donkey Kong was taking up so much of my brain space, and ever since I revisited Expedition 33, and now with Silksong, and I want to check out Shinobi earnestly, DK is just kind of like fallen down my personal top 10.
Ooh, interesting. I have it probably like number 2 right now. I loved Bonanza.
Oh, this is going to be crazy. I love it.
Fun. Yeah.
People are gonna die.
More you need to play through all of Death Stranding too.
Yes.
I will make time for it,
I
but
need
now I want
to-
to play Metal Gear now,
You know
too.
what?
Jeez,
Maybe y'all need to play through Delta also.
Oh, I'm doing that. I'm almost at the end of
Oh,
Delta.
that's gonna be a weird discussion, but a good one, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got my thoughts on that, but
Yeah.
Anyway, Jeff Grubb, the news. News with Jeff Grubb.
Oh,
His
right.
name is Jeff Grubb.
That's right. We do other things on this show.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it here. The first story is still about Silksong. That patch did come out to make the early game easier. Team Cherry released the first
good.
post-release patch for Hollow Knight Silksong they're releasing it next week, I guess. It might be out already. I'm not sure. Primarily for bug fixes, but also including some early game balance adjustments. Yeah, bug fixes.
I get it.
These changes will reduce the difficulty of 2 early bosses, Morwing and Sister Splinter, and decrease damage from Sand Carver enemies. The patch will also rebalance the in-game economy by increasing Rosary Bead rewards from courier deliveries, relics, and psalm cylinders, while slightly lowering Bellway and Bell Bench prices. So unlocking fast travel, unlocking some of those benches will be more affordable. I'm trying not to update my game because I want to get through this early part without in the real way because I'm toxic.
yeah. We paid for our college.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
oh my God, no.
Again. Pay off all students.
Yeah, it is crazy
Except for
that.
mine.
I mean, I guess these aren't like huge sweeping changes, but like it is kind of nuts how quick they are.
I bet they had a
Yeah.
hunch. I bet these were conversations going
Sure.
on up
Yeah.
until launch day, and they're like, "Let's do it. Let's see it. We'll get the feedback, and we'll make adjustments because we're ready
Yeah.
to do it."
And I'm sure there's plenty of data that tells
Exactly.
Yeah, I bet they're getting a lot of feedback. I mean, the patch is mostly bug fixes, and these are, it's not really a ton of this kind of difficulty stuff. I do think the economy rebalancing is interesting because that economy is pretty. It's pretty stingy. You don't get a lot of those rosaries, and if you have like one unlucky thing where you were holding a bunch of them and then died and lost them, well, it just can't happen. It's like, oh man, it was really hard getting that many of them. Later in the game, it coming by them is not nearly as difficult. So I think again,
Hold
that's an
on.
early game thing.
I guess I've never thought about this, and forgive me if this is covered in the original Hollow Knight. But who are the bugs praying to?
There's gods, and they're
But is
bad.
it like bug Jesus? Since
I
it's
think
a
in this one we
rosary?
don't necessarily know yet,
Oh, Jesus.
unless you beat the game. Because I think they're going up to the chapel or whatever the Citadel, and I don't think we know exactly what's going on in the Citadel.
I can tell you with almost certainty that it will not be the Catholic God or Jesus.
Where are all the agnostic bugs at? Where are those bugs?
I think you're playing as her.
I think you are playing as the agnostic
Yeah.
bug. Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, you're a bug? That's a
Yeah.
bug?
It's a What
Yeah,
kind
they're
of
all
bug?
bugs. You're
Are
all
you
bug adjacent.
Mantis type thing. Yeah.
You're stylized bugs. Your name's Hornet.
Oh, I with the
I'm so
needle.
sorry, Backlar.
With the needle, I thought it was just like a very tiny seamstress person. I don't.
No, they're all, it's all bugs. They're cute. I like
okay.
that they're bugs, and I think they're good bugs.
They're cute. They're not gross bugs. It's fine.
We haven't had a good bug game since Bugdom. Finally.
It's kind of ironic. This is the kind of thing that I think early access is good for, because this is definitely the kind of thing that Hades 2 has had a lot of feedback for, and they've been able to adjust things. And I actually think, I guess we'll get to Jan in a second here. He's about to blow up. I think it's a bit of a bummer to actually, this is why things like easy modes are good as options, or like even bury in the options menu.
Accessibility options. Yeah.
Accessibility options. Like, look, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, a game that's reviving a series known for NES hard, has health sliders and damage sliders, and that's your easy modes. You can adjust that. I think it would be good if the game had, if Silksong had more of that, so that way they don't have to do something like this where they just patch everyone's games, and suddenly people are like, okay, well, do I not update? Do I I'm GOG, so I'll download the offline version? Because some of y'all are really enjoying that more difficult experience, and I don't think they should have to overwrite that.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a more elegant way of figuring this out, and it's Celeste. It's the way Celeste does stuff, which is what you're describing there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
It's
the
options.
right move.
Options.
Yeah, like when FromSoft's like, we can't do an easy mode, they have a slight of a leg to stand on because there's so much multiplayer stuff, and it's like a world where you can send people in. Silksong's all single player, so I get I would never play it, but I don't know why you don't put an easy mode in or a story mode thing for people who just want to play the game that way. Whatever, I don't care. I'm not gonna take it as some personal insult.
Is difficulty an accessibility thing?
Well, I mean, I think what we're saying is instead of an easy mode, the way Celeste does it is it doesn't have an easy mode. It has, so you could, that double jump you have, we'll give you a triple jump, or quadruple jump, or infinite
Quad
jumps
jumps?
if
It's
you
like,
want.
Mario, Nintendo did that a lot for a while, in the Wii U era, where it's like, oh, you died a bunch. Here's the magic P-wing that shows up at the beginning of the level.
That's almost a pandering way to it. I think
I get mad when I see it.
Yeah, even
for Panda.
I know fighting games, so on my perspective on it, will even have in offline only modes, especially training mode. I believe Tekken 8 has this where you just adjust game speed. If you're not understanding how to string stuff together to land combos, just turn the speed down while you're playing offline and learning this stuff, and then you can go into online matches and actually try to do it a little bit faster. And I think not everything needs to be as in-depth as that. Sometimes it can just be an easy mode where, we just knocked everyone's health down 50%, your damage up 50%, and that's what they do. Just, having something like that is good.
Yeah, because I asked that question with the answer I wanted was yes, right? It is an accessibility thing.
Yeah.
So
it would be so easy for them to make an easy mode that was just damage values, right? You take less damage and deal more damage there.
And that's kind of like what the change that they made here is. One of the things the bosses were doing early on is double damage. So instead of taking one pip of damage, it was doing double. And people were like, holy shit, I wasn't expecting that. And that's now my guy's melting and I'm getting hit by that. So I'm gonna go install this mod that gets rid of that. And that's one of the most popular mods was things to do that. And now it's just the game.
I like how Death Stranding 2 does this, where if you are having trouble with a boss, you just go to the menu. I'm like, no, I'm gonna pretend that I beat this.
Or that crab Souls-like game where you could just get a gun and one shot people.
Crab's Treasure. Yeah, just a gun mode.
Give Hornet a gun.
Sure. But what I was trying to say earlier, when you bring up early access and Hades, Dan, I know that you tend to avoid a game until it is fully out. Holy shit, guys! Can't wait for y'all to check out Hades 2. That game fucking
That's
rips.
coming out this year. You're talking about Game of the Year, Dan.
That's
That
this
game is
year?
going to come out this year.
Yes, that's this year.
Scheduled to, yeah.
Honestly, I won't be surprised if it's at this Nintendo Direct this week, if that is
Yo.
really happening.
The progress they've made with that game. Holy fucking shit!
That's this year?
Yep.
Do they have a date?
Not
No,
yet.
but I think we make it the date
But,
this
like,
week.
soon.
So yeah.
Oh my
Especially if
God.
it drops soon, maybe. That
It-
would be
it-
kind of cool.
It could very easily be like you're playing Silksong into Hades 2, maybe.
A second
Wow.
indie game has hit the Switch too.
Yeah, and everybody else just delays their indie game by another month now. There's like, ugh.
Oh, that's wild.
That's
Jeez.
that is exciting. All right. Well, we'll see what happens with that. I think the conversation will be ongoing, and the common thing will be this is the game intended by the developer, but they just made changes to their own difficulty. So we know that's something that can change, and they'll be wanting that feedback, and they want their game to have a certain feeling to it, and that's hard to dial that stuff in. I bet there will be more of these adjustments going forward. PlayStation 6. Is that a number? Is that a name you guys want to hear yet? You guys excited to hear PlayStation 6?
I am.
I'm ready.
I love hearing crazy shit all the time.
I mean, it's like I both want to hear it because the PlayStation 5 is underwhelming and don't want to hear it because the PlayStation 5 is underwhelming.
Yeah. Dan, are you serious? You're ready for it? You said.
I just like getting new stuff, and
I
that's
know,
the
but
new
you're
thing.
you're the only one with a PlayStation 5 Pro, and you're like, now I'm ready for PlayStation
and it's
6.
very underwhelming. The Pro is
okay,
underwhelming.
yeah.
I just like new stuff. I don't know.
I mean, that is the only thing that is like this tangible advantage that like physical consoles possess. The new shiny toy and the feeling.
Yeah.
The
That
comes
comes
out
in a big
lessons
box.
could be real. Yeah, well, I guess.
All that matters. It's
PCs have
fantasy.
that.
It's right. It's just fantasy. It's just a vibe.
Well, I mean,
That's
it's a lot of it. You're right. A lot of it's packaging, right? Like we want the OS, the UI to feel different, because then that makes it feel like it's new. Who cares if it's better or worse? I just want it to feel
Totally.
different.
I do want it to be different. Yeah.
I
tell
One
you
of my
what, this-
complaints with the Switch 2 is like, this UI should be different, so I feel like it's more of a
I'm
new
with
thing.
I'm
Yeah.
with you on that too. It's just like, yeah, this all works well, but it's like it doesn't really
It's
feel
a mental
that
thing,
new.
and it's like they could make it worse, but if they made it different, we would be like, okay, well, I see where the work went into this, and it's so silly. But
This is going to feel like a smaller jump than the PS5, though, because PS5 is a good system. PS6 is just going to be an extension of that. PS4 was not a good system, so 5 felt like a huge
and I
leap.
think it's even more like fundamental to their strategy this time that it will feel like less of a jump, because why would they want it to feel like more of a jump? So they have to spend more money on video games that take even longer to produce. I think this next generation will very much be set up around the idea of, let's sell most people a PS5 again. We don't have to call it a PS5. It'll be called a PS6S, and it'll be cheaper, but not that cheap. It'll be $500-ish. But it's going to play all the bullshit that they want, and then we'll have a higher one for all of our freaks who spend all the money on all our stuff no matter what. That'll be there too. But we're going to focus on the one that's more like a PS5, because we expect the PS5 to stick around for another 10 years. That's the strategy, I bet.
We've hit the point of diminishing returns where the next console is going to have better ray tracing. We mentioned that's a weaker point of the current systems. They're just going to get better at doing that and upscaling and everything. Stuff's going to backslide kind of, I think, and like a lot of PS5
Yes.
Pro stuff is going to be in like the PS6 by default, and that'll be cool. But man, tell you what, if this comes out 2027, 2 years, that's a generation right there, folks. That's 7 years. Even though it doesn't feel like it.
That's wild.
Yeah, I think it's all about like it's similar to phones where now it's just like
Yes.
the feature. Like, what's the feature that you can only get
Yeah,
there?
right.
Because it's
They
not going to be
don't
the
have
games.
cameras on these things, right? So they just can't talk about how many megapixels or whatever.
And I think-
Yeah.
Literally
I think
the
Apple event
Apple
is
event.
going on right now.
Yeah,
Like, they
right
probably
now,
have-
and I'm gonna buy one. I'm just like, I
Yeah.
hope they
I
announce
know,
something.
because
then.
they
I have
have
to
the
upgrade-
15th
I have to
button to it
upgrade.
or whatever that does something random.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Sean, they got rid of the buttons. What are you saying?
Now they're back. You missed the buttons. They're back. Now they're gone again because those buttons were shit, actually.
Do you
Oh,
like
they're
big
back
phones or
now.
small
Buy
phones
it.
now? Big phones or small phones good?
Big
What is
phones,
it this
baby.
year?
I
Big
think
phones are
it's
good?
back- I think it's
Okay.
still big. I think it's back in the big
Give
phone.
me
like
jumping
big.
flash, you cowards! There, I'll buy your PlayStation 6 if you give me jumping
Detachable
flash.
disk drive, Jeff Grow.
Thank you. Yes. So this PlayStation 6 is planned to have a detachable disk drive. It sounds like it might even use the PlayStation 5's detachable disk drive. At the very least, it's going to have its own. But why wouldn't it just be the same thing? Because there's not new optical media, which is, I think, kind of a sign of okay, when this thing does come out, it's not Sony trying to sell us yet a new version of the Blu-ray. It is still that old version of the Blu-ray 4K or whatever, however they phrase it. And but they will continue to sell you that because I think they see that there is enough of the audience that still wants physical. They don't want to leave that out. But the fact that they did set this up at the back half of this generation of, we're not going to include the drive. It'll be a separate thing you can attach. Maybe you could plug it in. Maybe it does become part of the system, but it will be a separate purchase. We're not trying to focus on that. We're focused on digital. They have primed the generation to work that way. They will take advantage of that by saving money and charging more for digital games. So yeah, not too surprised by that. But I don't know. When you guys get your PS6, are you gonna get one with a disc drive? I guess we just do it to be safe.
I do a lot of 4K Blu-rays and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
sure.
I definitely will. Yeah.
Usually
my PS5 is what I use as my Blu-ray player anyway.
Right.
So.
I still have my PS4 games, some that are still PS4 exclusive, and so I'll want the option for disc drive at least to play those, even if I am buying games digitally or getting codes or whatever.
Yeah, I see myself. I just keep buying more and more of my games digitally, especially for like these consoles. I've resigned myself to the fact that I'm never going to have some impressive Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 physical library, right? And yet, as long as they give me the option, I am probably going to take it just to be safe. But I don't expect that option to be around forever.
I don't wanna.
That's fine.
The reporting here, I did say that the PS5 detachable disc drive met all of Sony's internal expectations and surpassed them. So the thing was selling. So I think this strategy is working as far as Sony is concerned. Speaking of Sony and their consoles, the PS5 Digital Edition is going to get kind of a quiet downgrade in Europe. They are going to bring it from 1 terabyte of internal SSD storage down to 825 gigabytes, which is around what the PlayStation 5 launched with originally. And
That is the launch one.
That is the exact launch, because people were saying 865. Yeah. I thought it was 825. Thank you. So they are going back to the launch storage solution. So about 600-ish gigabytes of free space in there. This is very much about shrinkflation. It's about reducing costs so they don't have to raise the price yet again. Why storage especially is expensive. There's a million reasons for that, but they are using the more expensive NVMe Gen 4 Gen 4 SSDs. Those could be expensive, but 1 terabyte you would figure by now they'd be able to make that work. I guess not.
It's the proprietary tech they're using, because they're not just using an off-the-shelf drive. They are using their own very specific stuff that makes the internal storage the fastest SSD you can get in like any console. Right. And I didn't follow this super closely, but I did hear that apparently when they went to 825 up to 1 terabyte, they did so just by like adding a chip or two of storage, and which is weird because like I thought 825 existed because they needed some mathematical.
It like fit into the number of PCIe lanes that was connected
like
to the
that.
CPU. Not to get too in the weeds, but they were like, Mark Cerny is like, this is perfectly divisible and fits in there. So when they went up to 1 terabyte, the understanding was maybe they had to add another controller chip in there to handle that and make it work with fewer PCIe lanes. I don't
seemingly know. They're just taking out what they previously added to give consoles 1 terabyte, which is how they're going to save costs.
Yep.
I have a question for the group here. How often in a console's life cycle does it seem like it becomes more expensive and the initial good parts are taken out?
So more expensive is never. We have gotten worse versions of consoles before.
PS3 lost the backwards compatibility. Yeah.
Genesis 3, like a lot of like older, like the Wii that took out the Canadian Wii, the red one that took out Wi-Fi and stuff like that.
Canadian Wii. I don't know why that's funny. The Canadian Wii.
Canadian Wii is a good phrase.
Even just the regular Wii got rid of backwards compatibility too. So this does happen, yeah.
But all those situations just somehow still feel different for this, where it's like PS5 is still the console, and like people are supposed to still be buying this thing. And when you do a revision that's worse, usually you do a full revision and you like make it even slimmer, and you use a lot of cheap components. This just feels like trying to continue to make this thing work when it should be raking in the cash because it should be cheaper to produce than ever. That's just not happening though. So
yeah, I think it feels differently because it's not like, they would never do this. It would be insane. But just for example, if they drop PS4 backwards compatibility and they're like, yeah, but now it's the PS5 Super Slim and it's like $100 cheaper. It's not that. It's the exact same console with everything's just a little bit worse as time goes on. and then it's going up in price. It just feels like a kick in the teeth to like, hey, you didn't get a PS5 yet? You're getting a worse deal now.
Right, and that will also play into their favor with the PS6, right? When the PS6 launches, one of the most common things you're going to hear is, you should get it now because it's going to get more expensive and worse.
Oh, okay.
Right?
so
Doesn't that
yucky.
fucking suck? That
so
sucks so
dirty.
bad.
That feels so bad.
Yep, and it's going to work for them, at least with that audience that shows up in the first year or two of a console. It sucks.
Will I even have a game to play on a PS6?
You're
Last
right.
of Us Part 2 remastered.
8K, baby.
Act now. All right, let's keep going here. Nintendo's latest Switch Online news could have just confirmed a leak. Basically, they are. What was the game that they're adding here?
Forsaken 64.
Of course.
Thank
How
you.
could you
Future is
forget?
Forsaken.
Who could
The future
forget?
is Forsaken.
64kin, yeah.
I was thinking of Trespasser because girls and tattoos and stuff
Sure.
like that. Yeah, but
That makes
Forsaken
sense, yeah.
64, that was part of an image that was in a Nintendo update video on YouTube about Nintendo Switch Online, and people were seeing a blurry image of game boxes, and one of those games was Forsaken 64. There was a bunch of other games in there, including Donkey Kong 64, Glover, Super Smash Bros, Scars, and then Forsaken 64. So now that Forsaken is confirmed, people are thinking, hey, all those other ones are going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably correct.
I loved seeing the like internet sleuthing going on with that because it's like, sometimes it seems like a stretch. This one, it's like, I've seen these boxes a lot, and that looks
Right.
like those boxes.
Yeah.
The only possible thing could have been those games were just in there for Nintendo testing, and they
Placeholder
aren't
stuff.
real. But
Right.
otherwise, they're going to happen because why would they
Right.
do the work of putting that stuff in there unless they were intending to release those things? Yeah,
And it'd be one thing if it's like, Donkey Kong 64 is real. It's like, well, that doesn't mean all of these are. But the fact that we got Forsaken 64,
Yes,
which is one
good
of the
point.
weirder
Yeah.
ones in there, it's like, well, if we got that one.
right, exactly.
Never heard of Forsaken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Did you ever
No
play
one played it.
Descent?
Everyone knows the box art.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's-
Did
that's
you ever
the
play
game.
Descent back in the day?
I like this.
No.
Yeah.
It's based. It's like Quake, but with 360 degrees of movement. You fly. It's like that.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
funny chat saying it's the Kate Winslet game. I think everyone thought that. She really looked
She
a lot
looks
like Kate Winslet on
Winslet.
that
Yeah,
box
that's
art.
true.
Yeah.
I like Mike going, did you play Descent back in the day when you were 3 years old, Jan?
Look, I mean, people were talking about Descent for decades, right? Come
No.
on.
We weren't talking about it much back then, Mike.
Yeah.
Forsaken is definitely like a N64 all-time rental game for me.
Yes.
That's one I really enjoyed.
Oh, there's gonna be multiplayer in this. We should check out Forsaken 64.
Sure.
Hell yeah. All right. Sega's Tokyo Game Show lineup teases 4 mystery titles. Sega plans to exhibit 4 mystery titles at Tokyo Game Show, in addition to games like Sonic Racing Crossworlds, or Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, Persona 3 Reload, and Persona 5 The Phantom X. Then they had those games in a grid with 4 blank slots that said, hey, there will be 4 other games. I think it's safe to assume there probably will be other RGG stuff, whether that's Project Century, which I forget what it's called now, or the
Stranger in Fiction?
Is that it?
Or
That's, wait, no, that's a Will
Yeah,
Ferrell
what the fuck
movie.
am I thinking? Son of
Yeah.
Heaven? Something
like
weird
that.
like that.
The word
yeah.
heaven sounds
Heaven's
right.
Gate.
Is it Stranger Than Fiction? Okay, maybe. Either way, I don't know. What are you guys hoping for? What are you expecting?
Stranger
Stranger
Than
Than Heaven. Got it.
Stranger Than
Wasn't there like a leak or there was like an initiative that Sega was like, hey, we want to bring back these games, and Crazy
Right.
Taxi was one
So-
of them?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was like,
right.
what were they called?
Shinobi
Like,
was in on
Super
that.
Games or
Shinobi's
something?
the first. Yeah, Shinobi's the first one of those. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
Shinobi, Crazy Taxi. Did they say like Jet Grind?
So Jet
Yes,
Set
Jet
Radio
Grind.
and Crazy Taxi are supposed to be like really big games.
Is this how
I keep
Jan
saying.
found out?
What if it's Vector Man?
Oh,
No,
no.
shut up about Vector. He guys
No,
are Vector
I
Man.
not
remember
impossible.
they did this. It was like 2 Game Awards ago.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It was like a montage. Like, wait, what the
Yes.
fuck? Crazy
Right,
Taxi?
so there's a
was-
bunch
yeah.
of those we still need to
Golden
hear
Axe
from.
or something.
Golden Axe. There was another Streets of Rage that was actually a part of that. So yeah, there are more. I bet we're gonna at least hear from 1 or 2 of those. Especially now, it seems like Shinobi's doing well. I assume, right? It's a good start to that whole thing.
Yeah, we know Virtua Fighter is going to be one of them, the new one. But
Yes.
they're also doing. Is this separate from the RGG like direct thing that they announced?
Yeah, this would just be their presence at Tokyo Game Show. Although I bet RGG stuff will blend into this. Like,
Yeah, so maybe it is like Stranger Than Heaven and Virtua Fighter, and then maybe it is one of those unannounced, one of those announced retro revivals. We get
man.
one of those.
what about Persona 4 remake. Have we gotten that confirmed yet? I can't remember.
Yes, they covered
Yeah,
that
yeah.
at a show already.
Oh,
Summer
yeah, it
Game
has
Fest.
the revival.
Yeah, that one leaked a bunch of times, so I couldn't remember if
bad
it was
title,
confirmed or
by
not.
the way.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, well, so then maybe
it
not
got
that.
revealed. I don't think we're going to see anything more of that
More of
yet,
that.
actually.
Not yet, yeah. Okay, yeah, maybe Echo. Echo the Dolphins back.
Hell
everybody.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think independent of the Sega stuff, that guy said something about bringing Echo back. I can't remember.
Yes, he did. He
I
definitely
kind of
did.
don't believe him.
No,
We'll see.
that was definitely like just what old men say sometimes.
I'm going to bring back Echo the Dolphin. Okay.
My grandpa's been going off about Echo.
The real quick, the announced classic revivals from Sega. It is Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, Golden Axe, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, and Streets of Rage. There were some other ones rumored, I believe.
Right.
But I
I
can't
think
remember.
Virtua Fighter was one of the rumored ones for a little bit.
Right.
Even
Oh, yeah.
though that's
Yeah.
not really part of this initiative per se.
Yeah, it feels a little bit different.
This
That feels
is,
like,
RGG
like
doing
another
their
fighting
thing.
game.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. We have a story to tell, says MachineGames, about Wolfenstein, and with the idea of they need to finish the trilogy. That's according to MachineGames studio head Jerk Gustafsson, who has stated that the developer is not finished with the Wolfenstein story, and they did at least at one point, intend to make a third entry in the series. He made it sound very open-ended and made it sound like it's something they plan to get back to, but I don't know if there's like hard, concrete plans. But he's like, it was always meant to be a trilogy, and we want to finish that. Now, I'm a huge fan of these games. I hope they can get back. I had accepted the fate that they weren't going to. This has renewed my hope. But is this another thing developers just say when they don't really know if they're going to do it?
I always assumed they would be a trilogy because they were going to do Mecha Hitler.
They were gonna do Mecha Hitler.
They have to. Do you kill him in 2, or do you pee on him or something?
No,
right?
he pees himself.
He
pees
pees himself. I knew there was
Yes.
a pee Hitler situation.
He's like clearly
going on
like sick and like an
Yes.
old man, and like and there's all these people like yes men around him and stuff like that, and it's really embarrassing. And I think like there's something like Ronald Reagan calls him or something. I don't know. It's weird, but it's clearly like he's dying, so they're gonna have to put him in the mech suit to keep him alive for the third game, so you can fuck him up then. And I was like, just so needing that so bad. And well, listen, I love Indiana Jones. I hope they go back to Wolfenstein and complete this trilogy.
Yeah.
I like Indiana Jones. I love Wolfenstein.
Exactly. Yes.
That's right. So that whole scene was, you're on Venus or something. He pisses in a bucket, and then Ronald Reagan, just as an actor, comes in, and Hitler shoots him.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
That game is just an all-timer.
It's
God,
so good.
It came right when I needed it the most. What a game. What a game.
Maybe the devs are realizing, oh, we didn't get it through people's heads that Nazis are bad.
Yeah.
We got to make another one to just cement that Nazis are bad.
Yep. I mean, God, I think coming off of Indiana Jones and having the chance to get a break, letting people miss the series, I am flipping back over to like, I believe this can happen, and I'm almost at a point where I think it will happen. I hope it does.
Right. I mean, it seems like Indiana Jones did well, but it's not like, get that next sequel out here immediately. Well.
I think it's probably get the next sequel out there immediately well, but not like let's greenlight the next 2 games well. Like that's, I think they were hoping for that, and they're like, well, we're definitely going to do another one of these, but I don't know if it's the very next thing, but I expect it to be still, and then they do Wolfenstein after that maybe. All right, last couple of stories. We're making great progress, says the director of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 and Kingdom Hearts 4. That's Tetsuya Nomura. You're laughing. Should I believe him? What do you guys
Don't
think
believe
about?
his lies, Grub. Never believe Nomura's lies.
Don't believe Andor's lies. I believe him. I mean, I bet they're making maybe great progress a lot, but I bet they're making proggies. It's like they're going backwards.
He said Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. We don't know what the name is going to be, revival, whatever it is. He says they do have a date, though, locked in for when they're going to talk about that game next. Is that probably the Game Awards?
I'm trying to think. Is it
This
maybe
year?
a little early still? It might be a little early still.
It's only 3 months away.
Yeah. I mean, they could have a tease.
They could.
Yeah.
You're right, they could. I wouldn't necessarily expect it. It wouldn't be like some absurd thing,
So
but
do you guys think that game's not coming out next year?
No.
no, I think it's 2027.
I think it's going to be another 4-year dev cycle. So it's going to be 2027 or 8, depending on how long it takes.
I could see a name drop this.
Yeah,
for
what
the
R
TGAs.
word are we getting?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, and I think that's what he's saying too. Is like they'll have something along those lines.
Revengeance.
I mean, I think we kind of want to hear more. I mean, maybe not. When I say we, maybe I don't mean all of us, but I think Kingdom Hearts 4 is the one we hear about more again. before that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He did not say that they have a date for that one, but he said we'll have something to say, at some point soon. So yeah, maybe.
It could also be super teasery stuff because we know that they're
Right.
just doing weird stuff with the remake trilogy now. So they could just like show some imagery of a character doing a weird thing as just like a picture or like something pre-rendered, and it just gets you hype or something like that. But yeah, I also see chat points out that 2027 is the 30th anniversary of FF7. If they can get turned around in 3 years, because they did build a lot
They
of
would've-
stuff out.
They would have been
already
able to
with Rebirth.
foresee that and could have like planned ahead and made sure they
Yeah.
were really working on that third game. And they, they talked up so much about how the second game they were able to get out quicker than they expected because they had the whole team together and they learned a lot. That could compound, and maybe
Now-
as long as they don't take too many ambitious risks with the third
Yeah,
one.
well, where they are in the story right now, they got through most of the like open world stuff. There's still some places we haven't seen yet, like Wutai, that they need to go to. But the end of the game is much more linear, so they could just like narrow in scope to get out with a quicker turnaround.
Now forget everything Final Fantasy VII.
Of course.
I need Kingdom Hearts 4. I need
Yes.
Nomura to give Donald Duck an even mightier spell to further prove that he is one of the most powerful mages in the Final Fantasy universe.
Super Zeta Flare.
Super Zeta Flare, Mega Zeta Flare,
Zeta
Mega
Flare.
Zeta Flare.
Zeta Flaraga.
Oh yeah, there you go. Just keep going.
Now,
That
Grub,
initial trailer looked kind of interesting, though. They like gave Sora a grappling hook or something. Like I was like, okay, what are you doing here?
I want to see, like, I want to find
what
out
if
what
it's a
worlds we're going
roguelite,
to.
huh?
There you go. Okay,
Grub?
now I'm interested.
Grub?
Let's go. That's a real genre.
Yeah,
What
oh
if it comes
my.
with a keyboard, huh, Backlar? Huh?
I'm still out.
What if Dib gets super into Kingdom Hearts?
It's certainly within the realm of possibility.
Oh, he would make a good Roxas for Halloween.
Mike, what are the outstanding Disney properties that you expect to be in the next one?
So that
Moana.
first teaser, Moana will certainly be in this one. In that teaser trailer, though, everybody thought they saw what looked like the moon of Endor. So everyone's expecting Star Wars to finally get in here. And if they're doing Star Wars, then it's like, well, do we get a Marvel level as
Can we get
well?
aliens? Yeah.
Yeah, but there's been some hits since Kingdom Hearts 3, like you can do an Encanto level, right? That kind of thing.
Do a Coco level.
Coco I think would be a big one. Part of me, Kingdom Hearts 3 is very much like that. Like, what are the most recent hits? And then, a couple Pixar movies from back in the day. And then, oddly enough, Pirates of the Caribbean 3. So nothing like super weird like how Kingdom Hearts 2 did Tron back then and even Steamboat Willie. I hope we get some deep cuts this time as well. I would like that.
What if we do Prey? What if you fight a predator with like?
Well,
Native
yeah,
Americans?
it could be
That'd
Predator and
sick as
Alien.
fuck.
This
What about
Fox-
Simpsons?
No, Family Guy. No, the Cleveland Show.
Jesus.
Giggity.
The Cleveland Show level. There you go.
All right, last story here. Nintendo Direct is still expected this week, either Thursday or Friday are the dates that keep going around. Several insiders are saying this now. One insider is also saying that the number 7 will factor in into many of the announcements, saying that there will be 3 7 games.
Are
That means-
leakers now marketing people? Like what?
basically for Nintendo Directs, yes. 3 7 games, as in games that like relate to the number 7 in some way. I think Final Fantasy 7 integrated release date on the Switch 2 feels like a lock. What do you guys think
Yeah.
the other ones are?
Oh, God. That's right. We got 007 First Light is like a Switch 2 thing. So,
Yeah.
gosh, how is that not one of them?
Oh,
I mean,
could be
you
one of them.
said something recently, Grub, that I'm hoping is real, and that's Soul Calibur.
No, Soul Calibur was deconfirmed. He
Yes,
says
so
not
Soul Calibur got
Deconfirmed?
debunked. It got
Yeah,
debunked.
the guy
yes.
who was teasing this said, nope, it's not Soul Calibur. It's not Soul Calibur or Ace Attorney 7.
Yep.
What about Seventh Guest? I like that one on here. Now I'm thinking about Seventh Guest just got remastered like 2019. I don't think they need to do something with Seventh Guest again.
What if it's Seventh Heaven, huh? What if we're just putting
okay.
sitcoms on the Switch too?
Okay.
All right.
Stranger
Hear me
than
out. Hear me
Seventh
out.
Heaven.
I said this during the chat yesterday when you were talking about this. All right. We have the number 7. What happens when you turn that number 7 upside down?
It
Right.
becomes
It's
an
an
L.
L.
It becomes
Add
an
L.
L.
Is it the year of Luigi again?
We're
Yeah,
getting
that's what
another
he-
year of Luigi.
That's what he said. Year of
What?
Luigi 2.
Second year?
Hell yeah.
It's time. It's
Hey,
been a while.
7 years of Luigi.
Yeah, the 12th
Yeah.
anniversary of the year of Luigi. It's time.
You know, because maybe
that really
Nintendo is
12 years ago?
realizing, all right, it's
11,
been
I
some
think.
time since the name Luigi was a little bit hot in the streets.
maybe we can recapitalize off of our guy over here. You know?
mean, they
Yeah.
are going to announce a Luigi's Mansion 4 like within the next year or two.
Yeah, we should be. So that what was that studio's last game? It was Strikers, and that was a couple years ago. And they did that a couple years after Luigi's Mansion 3. They'll definitely
great.
right away they would have known they were making a 4. So yeah, I think we hear about that next year.
And it's Charlie Day in the game.
Yeah, wild. I think these 7 games are kind of like the 3 most obvious / least interesting ones. It'll be a 7 Rebirth, First Light, and then maybe Yakuza 7 or Resident Evil 7 getting a native Switch 2 version.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think it's Final Fantasy 7, Resident Evil 7 to set up the the coming of all the other Resident Evil games. I know that's got a cloud version on
Sure,
Switch
but
1.
We don't count those.
We don't
Yeah.
count those. And then Dragon Quest 7 Remake has got enough smoke that I know that's a weird one, but
I can't. Yeah, I see so much smoke for it, but boy, that's a weird one to me to do. Which
I know.
mean, it
Look,
had a
you've got
3DS
your hands on your head over it. It's
Dragon
Surrender
Quest 7
Cobra,
is
yeah.
a weird game. That was even the PS1 era when most JRPGs were still just 25, 30 hours long. That one is like 100 hours long. It's got this really weird structure to it. It opens with a kind of 4-hour puzzle only sequence. It's good, but it's just such a weird one to remake. I'm not saying it's like the black sheep of the series, but it's black sheep adjacent.
Is the rumblings on that it is a remake?
Because they remade it for
so.
3DS already, so maybe it's just
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. Because
yeah.
there was rumblings that Final Fantasy Tactics was a remake, and I wouldn't really call what's coming out a remake. And yeah, this does have a 3DS and iOS / Android version. I wonder if maybe it's like a spruced up port
Maybe.
of that.
Like, there's just so many more popular Dragon Quest. Like, 8 was also remastered for the 3DS, and I think people
was
would rather
pretty
have
big,
that
too.
one on Switch 2 before 7, but maybe they want to go in kind of order. I don't know.
I mean, this is from 2 months ago. Jason Schreier implies the Dragon Quest 7 remake is real, just in a smaller scope. I think it's safe to say that Square wants to remake as many Dragon Quest games as possible for modern platforms. Doesn't mean all or any of them are going to be big, ambitious revamps like Final Fantasy 7 remake. I don't think anyone's thinking that.
That's definitely the right decision here, is that you do just take that 3DS version, which did iron out some of the pacing and made that 4-hour puzzle sequence a 1-hour puzzle sequence
Exactly,
instead,
right.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's
You
what
do
I would
just
expect.
up-res that thing up. But kind of like what we have with Dragon or Bravely Default Remastered, right?
Yeah, I mean, it could be like a complete asset reswap where they all of the assets are upgraded HD, like modern console quality,
Oh, sure, like Crisis Core did.
like Crisis Core, exactly.
Yeah.
And then some edits here or there. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, we do find out. When does Nintendo announce a direct? Who knows? It is September. We usually get a September direct. There's no reason to think there won't be one. But we'll see. Maybe Thursday or Friday. If there is one, we'll talk over it. Okay.
Oh, Rob, I got
Yeah,
a
please.
small one to sneak in here. Breaking news.
hit me.
Tiny breaking news. 2XKO, their beta invites are going out right now. So if you signed up for that, check your emails. This is an interesting one. Unlike the Marvel Tokon Beta, they're just leaving this one up. Like once you have access to it, you can just basically
So
play
it's
the
like
game
early access?
in early access, basically.
Interesting.
They're only taking it down for like maintenance and stuff. So kind of an interesting way to do a beta. But yeah, check your emails if you signed up.
Okay. And I guess real quick, Nintendo did settle a couple of lawsuits this week, but that's barely news. They settled for $2 million.
Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Tuesday for Nintendo. They settled for $2 million with the guy that made the MiG Switch, which is, I think if I say R4 card, most people will know what that means.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Flash card.
exactly. Like an R4 card, but for the Switch. If you were using it on your Switch 2, good chance you could get hit and your thing would get locked off of online. But yeah, they settled with that guy for $2 million. I think he's the one that represented himself. And then there was another lawsuit that they settled with a kind of a similar sort of thing. But yep, that's just Nintendo doing their stuff this week. All right, Jan, back over to you.
Folks, we're going to take another quick bricky break, and we will be back with some emails, some super chats if we have them, and we'll see you on the other side. These are the emails for the show. Emails Bombcast@giantbomb.com is email address to send your emails to. If you want to write in about something we've said on across Giant Bomb programming, you have a quiz, you got some miscellaneous cues that you want to ask the crew, or if you have some nice messages, I'll take them. I love them. I'll send them to who they are directed to. Thank you, everyone, for writing in. We've been getting a boatload of emails over the last couple of weeks, and that tickles me in a very positive way. First email of the show comes from Joe in Michigan. Joe writes in, I had no idea doctors' offices measured height by the half-inch until Dan mentioned it on last week's dump truck. Does anybody else's doctor just guess how tall they are? The nurse that takes height weight is always 5 feet tall and has written down anything from 6'3" to 6'6" on my chart. Can't wait for the Giant Bomb store to get tall-sized merch now that they're independent. Much love, Joe in Michigan.
I mean, the first thing they do is they take that little scale measuring thing, right?
Right, that has the numbers on them, so no one has to guess.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
What kind of doctor's
they even
office
got
are you
a-
going
Is
to?
it the back of a
It's not
nail
the Six
salon?
Flags,
Yeah.
like guess your height, guess your weight
Yeah.
person. It's just, there's numbers.
Are you at a carnival? Yeah.
I could understand someone in their, I don't know, 30s to 50s just not getting measured height-wise, especially if that has
Right.
been collected within the last 5 years. That usually doesn't tend to change.
Although they still measure me every time,
Sure.
without fail.
Same.
Sure, and that's fine. It's okay to measure every year. I would probably not complete the physical if my doctor was guessing my height. I would.
And he was dressed
I'd
as a
probably be
clown.
like,
His name was Dr. Clown Shoes. Yeah.
I'd be like, good luck collecting this copay. Goodbye.
Got my physical on Thursday. You guys do the yearly physicals?
I try to, yeah.
I should.
Yeah, I tried to as well. Yeah.
Mine are very informal.
Oh, for sure. You're
I
at
gotta
their
figure out
dinner
health
with your
insurance.
dad.
Wait, so what do you mean? You just go to his house and he's like, all right, get on the
He just always
bed.
tells him how he's feeling, and his dad's like, okay, well, that's something to get
something's
checked
wrong.
out.
I just kinda call him,
Emotionally
he's
or like physically?
I get squeezed in a lot. It's like,
Well-
something's wrong. Your dad's like, come on in, and then he'll maybe.
Just
take,
so
like,
your dad, so like, it's Sunday night, you bring over a vial of blood for your
No,
dad? Is that how
it's
that
always
works?
during
or-
work hours. I'll just go visit him in
He's
the office.
not a vampire, sure.
No, but he's got to do blood work every now and then.
Yeah,
but
sometimes I'll go there and they'll be like, you need to get blood work. Go upstairs.
Yeah, the
and
doctor
do
doesn't
that.
do blood work. You go to the lab court
Yeah, but
for that.
right, of course, but
building
certainly
stuff.
analyze the
He writes a
results,
little
right?
paper for. He take good care of me.
Okay.
Can your dad squeeze me in, please?
Maybe if he came here.
I just want your dad to squeeze me.
Everyone move to Ohio. I'll get you great medical care for the next, 5 years. He's still practicing. How much longer can he go?
Okay.
How old? He's
That's up
old.
to him, I think.
He's
I thought you
old.
were threatening your father. Oh my God.
5 more years till I kill my dad.
Clean read, clean read.
Finally, the countdown.
Man, people are gonna find this podcast. It's gonna be real.
Oh, I can
Your
frame
Honor, he
him.
admitted
I
it.
can kill his dad and frame him.
All right, Sam from Tumwater, Washington writes in, did you know Paul Thomas Anderson's upcoming adaptation of Thomas Pynchon's postmodern novel Vineland is bringing its beloved characters to Fortnite next week? Yes. And it looks like it's actually happening.
Really?
They copied an Instagram link and
Look at
pasted
this.
it there. What out of left field literary
What?
or movie characters would you like to see come to Fortnite next? Personally, I'd love to hit the gritty at Tilted Towers as Phantom Thread's Reynolds Woodcock. Sam from Tumwater, Washington.
Daniel
Yeah.
Plainview would be good for doing
Yes,
Paul
that would
Thomas
be
Anderson
incredible.
stuff.
Yeah.
The Uncut Gems Adam Sandler character would be good.
Yeah.
I think,
like legit good, Dan. I
Dude,
would
give
literally
me
spend
all
money
of the
on these.
Little Women. Give me
Yeah.
all of the Little Women. Let me play as Joe Marsh.
I think
The
Holden
Rock as the
Caulfield-
Smashing Machine.
Holden Caulfield from Catcher in the Rye, right?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
want him in
that
there.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean, that one I can see. He would absolutely eventually just join a murder island.
Spielberg watched this movie and won't shut up about how amazing he thinks it is. One battle after another from PTA. I'm like, ooh, I gotta see this.
I'm
It
curious.
looks
That's the
real
DiCaprio
cool.
one, right?
What's that?
That's the DiCaprio one, right? Yeah.
DiCaprio is this man in the flannel in this.
Oh, I've
Instagram
seen
post.
trailers for this. Okay,
Yeah.
I know what this is now.
I'm getting very excited. Have you seen the Venice Film Festival stuff with the Smashing Machine, where it's like you won the Silver Lion, like Safdie did, and like everyone's saying this is going to be The Rock's Oscar thing, and like imagine how obnoxious The Rock is going to be if he wins a fucking Oscar.
Oh, we
ego
cannot allow this to happen.
The ego situation is unbelievable right now. If that motherfucker wins an Oscar, it's going to be incredible.
Now, I want to specify. I think that this stuff is being made in
Yeah,
Fortnite's
Fortnite creative.
creative tools. It's not like when
It's a license.
Hank Hill was added in officially.
Yeah, but
right?
Beavis and Butthead
But
just got
Warner
in.
Brothers did this work. Like, this is an
Yes.
official
Yeah.
Warner
Yeah.
Brothers thing.
I was getting a lot of stories at Games Beat towards my time there. It'd be like, Dude Perfect has a level in Fortnite. It always kind of makes it seem like some official thing, but it's like, oh, well, because there's creation tools in there.
It's like the equivalent of uploading a YouTube video. Like, oh, Dude Perfect has put up a YouTube video. It's like,
Yeah.
because it's a community created thing. It's a Roblox level.
I'm looking at an image on his Instagram post of a pregnant woman with the Warner Brothers branding on it that says this is not sponsored, endorsed, or advertised by Epic Games Inc. That you will be able to fire guns as and also shoot in Fortnite, huh?
Yeah. Where are you aiming?
Oh my God, Mike! We might have to have a meeting after this.
It's crazy. I didn't do this.
You want to blame me for this?
This is unhinged behavior by the Warner Brothers. The brothers Warner
the Warner
must be reined in.
All right, Cameron writes in. Hello, Bombcast. Cameron from small town Minnesota. Do you think with Acclaim coming back and the recent success from the THPS Tony Hawk Pro Skater remakes that there's a big chance we'll bring back classics like Aggressive Inline and Matt Hoffman's BMX game? Thank you. And I know they're not K's, but I refuse to believe it's spelled Acclaim with 2 C's.
I
Love you,
agree.
Cameron.
I mean, that was the
Yeah.
joke back then. It was like Acclaim, like gross,
Like Kathy, yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait for this fucking thing tomorrow. We're going to talk over it. The Acclaim Direct. Jeff Jarrett better, like if we do the bingo for that, Jeff Jarrett appears better be on the bingo card.
Yeah.
So excited. Like the teaser, like bringing up like, oh, NBA Jam and Mortal Kombat and all these other things we can't do anything with. Like, I can't wait.
I hope they try. I loved Matt Hoffman's BMX, so I want to see them try to bring back some of these franchises to compete with the modern ones,
I
even
thought
if it
you were-
falls flat.
I thought you were just saying you hope that they try in general, and I do too. I hope they just.
I hope they
generally,
try.
I hope they phone it in real hard.
Any other hopes and wishes for Acclaim? We will talk over that.
No.
I just don't
No.
even know what to expect.
What can they do?
I hope they just don't know it's illegal to use other people's IP. They're like,
They announced Mortal Kombat 2.
That'd be
Like,
so
sequel
sick.
to 1.
this is ours, right? I'm Jeff Jarrett. This is mine now.
I hope they announce
They're
some.
like, what?
I hope they announce a Mario game.
Do you think Jeff?
Look, Jeff
Jarrett's
Jarrett
gonna
doesn't
break
play a lot of
guitar?
games.
Do you think he's gonna break a guitar?
Actually, yes.
I really
Good
think you
chance.
will.
that's a high
Good chance.
I think that's over on the over/under.
God.
All right. Travis and Fargo wrote in with 5 Qs. I picked one of them. Travis writes in, "Hello, gigantisk bomb." Apparently Norwegian. What's the biggest, most glaring Grand Canyon-sized blind spot in your gaming experience? Like a classic game you've never played, or even an entire genre you've never dipped your tiny little toes into. Travis and Fargo, exhausted after a 7-year-old's birthday party.
Quake, probably.
Mine's Metal Gear Solid 2. Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's like Doom and Quake. Yeah,
Yeah.
the original Dooms.
Yeah. I barely touched the Yakuza games, really. So that's one I gotta get to. There's some like old PC stuff too, where like I feel bad about like original Baldur's Gate. Never played through Planescape Torment. Some things like that.
I got too many to list. It's not even worth it.
Right.
I
It's
got too
Geist,
few
isn't
to
it?
list.
Bacalar. Yeah. You haven't played Geist yet, you piece of shit.
Yeah. Big
I tried
blind spot.
Dabble. I try everything. It was Metal Gear before a couple of years ago. I just had never played through any of them. Just straight shot all the way through and loved the series.
I mean, it was definitely Dark Souls for me a bit ago, which is why I made a whole like initiative to
Right,
play those
sure.
on my own.
I'd say like a lot of classic JRPG stuff, but even then, I played through Chrono Trigger. I played like 20 plus hours of a lot of different Final Fantasies. Right. I played the first disc of several Final Fantasies.
Sure.
That's good.
You get it then.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Reg McFly writes in, "Dear Bomb Squad, can you agree on an official way to dap up a giant bomber, whether fan, secondary agent, or main crew member? Yours, Reg McFly."
They're saying we need our own like Too Sweet situation.
Or just keep it simple with a fist
Yeah.
bump. That's all I'm
I
really
think fist
This
looking
bump
one's
is
to
the
do.
good.
safe one, right? Because that's the one where like everyone will feel comfortable with.
You
the-
can't
with
fuck
the
it
fist
up.
Bump.
I think
Yeah,
we should
exactly.
kiss on the mouth.
Okay. Hello. Due to the recent MTG Gathering talk, Magic the Gathering talk about what color identity matches each member of the crew, I figured I'd share thoughts. Jan is white-red. Counters because he lifts the whole team. Mike is blue-white, group hug, because he's having a great time and wants everyone else to be happy that he's there. Grub is mono green, or go big, because he's always got something that will blow you away.
Was there.
Jeff is mono black, reanimate, because he's never out of the fight. Dan is blue-black, control, because he doesn't want anyone else to play or have fun.
Oh, no, that's not true.
That's Dan 2.0.
What's with the mono in front of all the colors?
Just
What's
solo
it's
color.
you're just that color.
It's
Okay.
not
Like a
not a
combo.
split color.
I'm black now, everyone.
Clean read.
Clean read.
You heard it
Mostly
here.
kidding. Love you all. Mike from Texas, Sid from my iPhone. Shouts out to everyone that actually sent in their color pie definitions for the gang. One of them that I just giggled at was Mike is white. And that's just the truth. Okay.
What are you
let's-
trying to say?
that you're white. Couldn't make that clear. Let's go 2 more emails and super chats if we got them. Hi, Bombcast crew. Since hitting 40, I've been making a real effort to look after myself, and I've actually been working to be healthier. I've lost 20 kilograms, about 44 pounds, through a mix of Ozempic, exercise, and a cocaine habit.
Stop it.
And eating restrictions that come with Invisalign. On top of that, I'm finally getting my teeth straightened after all these years. It feels pretty great to be ticking off those grown-up health boxes. Got me thinking about how you've all been sharing your own journeys. Backler has been out there regularly playing sports. Dan's run marathons. Rob's been on weight loss kick. Jan sounds like he might have cut down on smoking. And Mike seems to be able to look at apples sometimes.
Maybe
So I'd love-
fictional video game ones, at least.
So I'd love to hear what's the thing you're most proud of in terms of being a healthy adult. Big, small, physical, mental. What's your personal brag? Cheers from Sydney, Tony.
I think the thing I'm on right now is boredom. I'm trying to be deliberately bored sometimes because I've
Nice.
not been bored. And let me check my watch here. 30 years.
Yeah.
And that seems maybe not good. So I'm trying to do nothing at all, like not even meditating. I'm trying to do nothing and just seeing if I can handle it. And you start immediately having thoughts you don't want to have. And I'm like, oh, that's why I don't do this.
It's
Where
a
did you
bad
get-
sign that,
Yes.
when you stop distracting yourself for 2 seconds, like, wait, this doesn't feel good.
Where did
it's
you get
like,
this
okay,
idea from?
That I like everything, like I'm sure I like saw like a tweet or a skeet or a YouTube short or some bullshit. I'm like, that's free. I'll try it. That's my thing with most of these, like anything new age. I'm like, if it's free, I'll give it a shot and we'll see what happens. And if it's bad, oh well. And if it's just the placebo effect, oh well, I'll take it. That's a little bit of something. And if it's real, I'll keep doing it. So we'll see. I'm very early
boredom's
on
free.
it. I'm actually still trying to figure out how to do it because I'm surrounded by things that I'm interested in.
I mean, meditation is like, I think that would fit in with that,
No, I think meditation is non-negotiable. Like that is something I have to be doing these days.
great,
So
yeah.
yes, but I'm trying to do this separate from that because that feels like when those bad thoughts come, say I acknowledge you. You can go about your day.
yeah.
Leave me. You can leave me now. I think boredom is like, what if you kept considering those things and thought about them and you were forced to confront them? At least that's the idea I'm having right now. We'll see. Who knows if it does anything, but I'm just going to try it for a bit.
I would say last year was definitely the marathon stuff, and this year the intention was to run the marathon, but then the injuries and stuff kind of piled up. So now I'm just trying to kind of like treat myself right. Like I'm just kind of like walking every day now. I'm doing a lot of shit to try to like work out all these fucking like I'm going to physical therapy and all this shit wrong with me, trying to get that fixed up. I tried something last night that I want to keep doing because it felt so good. I did a night shower. Okay. Well, no, I did. Okay. So normally I play video games every single night my entire life until I fall asleep. That's basically what I do.
Is this about the cold shower burst at the end? Because I feel like you told us about this.
No.
Yeah, we
I've done
talked
that.
about
Grub and I talked about how we've done that in the past or even now. That's usually a morning thing. So this time is like I take a nice hot shower. But before that, so I stopped playing video games at like 10 last night. I went into that Steam room thing, Grub, the one that I made you play Mario in.
Yep.
And just 20, 25 minutes been in the Steam room. I got all these gimmicks for working out all the muscle knots and stuff like that. And I just kind of like, no music, no podcast, no anything, just kind of like working on the muscles and stuff there. Steam room, then a hot shower, taking my time in there, going to bed, nice, clean, just, the hot water and all that stuff and breathing in the hot air and everything. And then I woke up today and I felt like I had the best sleep I've ever had in forever.
okay.
So I'm going to start trying to do the night shower steam room thing, I think.
All right. Yeah. If it worked, it worked. That's awesome.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Similar to Grub, I don't want to air too much dirty laundry, but I've had a very interesting year personally. And I don't think I let my brain be quiet on its own for too long. So, like, if I'm not on a podcast or a show with you guys, I have, like, a podcast where I'm listening to music. And for, like, the last couple of days, I will just kind of sit in the silence and just, like, think. And maybe that's why I actually liked raw dogging planes. But yeah, that has been helpful. And also what I did or started doing is I will pick up my telephone and call a friend and chat for a second. Instead of texting, I'll just be like, yo, can I shoot you a call real quick? Turns out talking to people about the stuff going on in your life is very useful instead of just keeping it rattling around in your noggin.
Boy, I've had too many professional lifestyle changes recently to think much about personal ones. I don't know. I guess I should think about that now. What would you guys fix about me? What would you
we
change?
didn't have any professional changes this year, the rest of us. No.
This very clearly only happened to you.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys have been up to, but it's been an interesting year. What do you guys think I should change?
Nothing.
I
Don't
want
change
a
anything.
giant bomb mug.
Oh,
You should become black.
Go to hell.
Change your feelings about mugs.
Absolutely not.
I'm always on team meditate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I don't think it's for me.
What?
You are
What,
definitely
meditating?
wrong, but that's fine to think that.
I don't know.
It's
Have
gonna
you
help
ever done
everyone,
it?
but go ahead.
Don't knock it if you haven't tried it. Isn't
Yeah.
that the thing?
I really don't
It's
want
not
to.
fruit.
Hey, Mike,
That's
it's
really
free. You don't have to do anything, and
Yeah.
you can do it in 10 minutes a day.
You know what Grump said about not being bored 30 years? That's true for me, and I'm like, that rules. That's
No, it's great. I'm like, I used to be really proud of it, but now I'm like, can I be bored? I don't know, and that scared me a little.
You're right. It is like disquieting when I think about it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
I want to lose weight. That's it. That's what I got to do. Build up. I got to build the cardio. Actually, the Disney trip's coming up. I got to get back into Disney shape. I got to get walking again.
Disney shape?
Yeah,
Oh, you've never heard this?
Oh, yeah.
He's been
Yeah,
in
he's
Disney
serious,
shape.
serious
Yeah.
about
I
You're
don't
on
want to
your-
ask.
You
You know what it
One year
is.
for it.
You don't
know
have to
what it
ask.
is.
I'll tell you. You're on your feet so much, and you're walking around. Like you kind of have to start. I sit down a lot for work. So
Beckler, don't you have to leave? I think you had a meeting, right? You
I
had
got
to
10
get a-
minutes. Are you
I'll
trying to
cheat
kick
I'm
me
trying
off?
to get
What's
you out of here so you
happening?
didn't have to listen to Mike.
I have some steroids from some butt things, so I could just take those instead, and they
I
kind
do
of help.
remember walking like 30,000 steps a day at Disney.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, it's a lot of walking.
What was the question?
What's a health brag?
A health brag.
Well, what are you working on right now, health wise or personal?
I just gotta stop working so much is what I gotta stop doing.
Yeah.
Health wise, like I don't know. I play hockey with kids who are 19, and I can keep up, and I feel good about that.
That's a health
Good.
brag right there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's good.
I definitely I've been having some long nights where I'm working on a bunch of different stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm in this chair too much. So I've been activating the standing desk
Yes.
at least once a day now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like this. And I've been hanging from a bar as well. 'Cause
Yes.
I'm I got to just strengthen these muscles because I can
I
tell
do
if I
that
don't
too.
do something, this back's gonna be fucked up.
I'm sorry. Grant kind of just broke. Grant NP in the Twitch chat just broke my brain because they typed, Americans love Disneyland because it's the only walkable neighborhood they'll ever experience.
Grant, that is a Picasso comment right there.
Yeah.
That is a
Stuff, yeah.
masterpiece.
I do like that.
That's
Yeah, take it from someone who tries to make every neighborhood walkable. It does
Yeah.
not work.
Did you see that? There was an Instagram reel of someone being like, every neighborhood in America is walkable. I'm going to walk to Applebee's. It's 17 miles away. And the video is just him going through highway overpasses and stuff and almost dying. Oh, it's good
So
stuff.
I don't know if someone gift Grant a sub. Oh my lord.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Last email of the show before we get to Super Chats. This comes from Shagatron. Hi, Bombardos. I fell asleep listening to Knowledge Fight and had a dream that Dan became known as the Cuck Destroyer. Signed, Shagatron.
Cool. That's reality.
All right.
That's a lot I don't really understand here.
He has no reason to destroy cucks.
What's knowledge fight?
Oh, I don't know that.
Oh, okay.
Who knows?
All right.
Folks, that does it for emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address to send your emails to. Thank you for writing in. Mike Minotti, do we have any super chats?
Yes, we got a few here from Eric Washenko to start off. We are sick of this anti-mug slander. Minotti, that's fine. I've been sick of mugs for a long time. We can all have a similar
We're
yet
gonna
distinct
have to
feeling.
Come
I
together
had
and
coffee
stand
out of my
against
Giant
this man.
Bomb. I had this morning. I had coffee out of my Giant Bomb mug, and it was delightful. I think
it's
everyone should have that joy.
We could make that happen again. We can do
Yeah.
it, guys.
So
We should.
easy, Mike.
No one else knows how that merch store works. I'm a master.
I
of
do
merch.
actually.
Not
They definitely
true.
do.
No.
Yep.
Next up is from Chase Kennedy. Lions suck butt. P.S. Packers suck too. Skull.
Damn it.
I think lions are great. They're big jungle cats. There's nothing to do with anything else.
None of you lost worse than the Browns. I don't know. I guess, but the Browns had such an awful loss.
Yeah, that was
just
rough, bud.
completely throwing it
I don't
away.
know, I thought the Lions were pretty embarrassing the other night.
They were.
There is nothing better than the separation of emotion between, Wednesday of NFL Week 1 and then Monday of NFL
yeah,
Week.
God,
it's
right.
the best.
Yep. Oh, it's
My fantasy teams did well, at least. I'll take that.
Same.
Then last year from Slim McAwesome, now that you've beaten Riven, will you be playing its sequel where you have to discover how the bad guy hurt his lower leg? It's called Genshin Impact. That's good.
That's good. That's
I like
good.
that, Slane. That's
I like
good.
it. Don't worry about it, Dan.
It's really nice knowing you,
Yeah.
Slane.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I already forgot.
Yep.
All right, that's it. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you everyone for the super chats. What do we got going on for the rest of this week, boys? Game this morning.
Acclaim!
Dreamcast! I got my
when we-
Dreamcast games in a binder here. We can play all sorts of...
I might buy a Dreamcast live during this stream. We'll see.
Cool.
There you go.
Dude, probably the worst time to buy a Dreamcast.
Oh, I can...
Like this day of the year for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I have C-Man here. I don't think I have my... my microphone, unfortunately.
Brag about
I
it.
mean,
Jesus.
come on, save that for your
Yeah.
dad. Come on.
C-Man is
on.
right here. Here's some
Mine's in
game
a
called
t-shirt.
Soul Calibur.
Ugh.
That Crazy Taxi, Frogger 2. I got the Sonic Adventure 2 trial disc. That's fun.
I was
Oh,
I was last night talking to Bonk about 99.99 because she was a Dreamcast kid, and she was like, "When's the next time that's going to happen?" And I was like, "Oh wait," and it's like, "I guess it would be March 3rd, 2033, wouldn't it? 3333."
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you meant the
Oh,
nines.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not specifically the 9, but like that time,
Yeah.
because we would have had
Yeah.
2222 and nothing happened
Yeah.
there. Somebody needs to release a console on 3333.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, that's
the
where we're
the
going.
3DS too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then I guess we'll get 4444. So I guess every 10 years or so we'll get something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I heard like 3 nines in quick succession, and then I started having PTSD of eating hot dogs. Game Mess Morning's popping off from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Later today, we have a Dreamcast anniversary stream. And then we continue Mike's journey through Blight Club. We're going to talk over the Acclaim stuff. We're going to do a GB plays of Hell Is Us. And then voicemail dump truck with friend of the site, Samantha Coleman, on Thursday. UPF. Maybe we'll do Borderlands. We'll see. And then maybe there will be a direct. There is a best of Jeff Passer out on the website now. We finished Riven yesterday. Go check that out. Mike had a Mega Man. He played Path of Exile 2. Go check that out. A lot of lovely, fun shorts that Sean is putting together. They're all great. He's so good at them. I need everyone to type in "Thank you, Sean" into the chats right now. What else, boys? What else we got?
That's it.
Hungry.
Okay, cool.
I gotta
All right,
plug
we'll
this Streamcast and eat.
gang, that about does it for the end of the show. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Giant Bombcast. He's been Jeff, he's been Sean, he's been Mike, he's been Dan, I've been Jed. And hey, thanks for listening. I love you. Full
Patricide.
stop. That's right, Patricide. It's on the menu, folks. Watch out, papas. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Giant Bombcast. Goodbye.
You're old and